living. When it comes to limitations, I don't listen. All mash like Griffin. Yeah.
Take my hands, it'll be okay. Close your eyes and let them fade away. We can get away from this place. You and me, we got that runaway fate. Take my hands, it'll be okay. Close your eyes and let them fade away. We can get away from this place. You and me, we got that runaway fate.
Stay on the runaway, keep on my renegade. All we got is time together, but I ain't got time to play. Let haters come my way, say what they gonna say. Treat them like my fears and keep on staring them back in the face. Keep living like there's no other day after today. Then day after tomorrow, 2 steps closer to being great. Cause that's my fate, if not that's fine. Only way to lose is if we never even try. Preach.
Take my hands, it'll be okay. Close your eyes and let them fade away. We can get away from this place. You and me, we got that runaway fate. Take my hands, it'll be okay. Close your eyes and let them fade away. We can get away from this place. You and me, we got that runaway fate. I can see it in your eyes. You're ready for a hell of a fight. I'll take yours if you take my time. 'Cause all I have to give when we love is when we really live. Let's live a life. Take my hands, it'll be okay. Close your eyes and let them fade away. We can get away from this place. You and me, we got that runaway fate. Take my hands, it'll be okay. Close your eyes and let them fade away. We can get away from this place. You and me, we got that runaway fate.
Oh, right. Good. What are you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to the Vanguard for Spike Lights the Menorah going. I am Matt Wright, and together we are traversing the muddied waters of freedom.
Oh, I should have lit the menorah.
You should have lit the menorah.
I should. Hey, everyone. Welcome to this very Mohammed Hanukkah.
This very
Hi! I'm here. Surprise.
Mohammed.
I don't think it's a surprise since we advertised you were going to be here.
Okay.
First and foremost, allow us to thank Grassroots Kava House and Low Tide Kava Bar for the kava that we're going to be drinking on today's episode, as well as
Kroger.
for the water.
Purified.
And me.
Muddied water.
Right.
And Mohammed.
And Mohammed.
I accepted.
Bula Vinaka.
Bulavanaka, it's going to be such a great show today. Thank you all for inviting us. The goals are going to be great. The teams are going to play well.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, all of that's true.
You should put your hands on your mic like me, so it looks like we're at a sports ball game.
Like I'm spitting hot fire.
It's weird. I'm a professional at this. I've been doing it for 2 years now. Yeah. So 2 years. It's been two years.
2 years.
2 years that we have been
2 years
behind these microphones.
Well, it's been less than that because for the first year or so, it was hospital sucks.
Right.
Wherever.
Well, no, same microphones.
Oh, same microphones, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a different.
Oh, sorry. We're behind foam.
Right. It's just a different covering on the microphone at this point.
True.
So 2 years that we have been doing this. And I believe Spike's first appearance was roughly 13 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first appearance. Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot about you're like 13 months. I was on the show 13 months ago? Yes.
Yeah.
I called in 13 months ago.
13 months ago you called in and we did a show. We did a thing.
We did a thing.
We did a thing. And we're still doing that thing.
It's a real thing. And now I have actual equipment, so I'm not just calling in and you can hear, you don't like miss every third or fourth word like when I called in.
Right.
So big improvement, guys.
Yeah. Everything has gotten better. I've got the phone number up for people to call, but I don't have Hangouts up, so I should probably open that. Just in case somebody decides to.
Yeah, I hope people call.
So just in case you are watching, you can call us at 813-644-2722. We're going to be covering a wide array of subjects today, but first...
Let's do Kava?
We already did Kava.
Oh, my bad.
But first, because I enjoy self-promotion, I came out with a book. It's called Can You Keep a Secret? Can You Keep a Secret? It's going to be out for sale on Thursday.
Buy it.
You should buy. You could go pre-order it right now. It's and the link for it is going to be in the show description. So you should definitely go and check that out.
It actually looks higher quality than the last book he wrote.
Man, listen.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to shit on him nonstop because I never get a copy of his books.
That's true. He doesn't. That's because he doesn't have money.
Bitch!
Do you want me to put the I could put the description in the comments, or you're going to put it in the show? Oh, no, you already put it in the show notes.
I put it in the show notes. Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah. I was on top of that one.
Good. Click on it, buy it.
Yes,
Change
go out,
life.
buy it. Go out, buy it. The early reviews on it have been quite promising, and so go out and buy it. I would definitely appreciate it because you'd be helping me. But yeah, anyway, on to the show. On to the real part of the show.
The actual show itself.
And see this book right here? Still not going to go to Mohammed. Still not going to happen.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Don't feel bad. I didn't get a copy either. No one gets a copy. You have to pay.
Your wife got a copy.
What, my wife got a copy?
Yeah, your wife has one.
How did I not get a copy? My wife got a copy.
I don't know.
Well. Well, speaking of things that happen and my wife was aware before me, George Bush is dead.
Whoa, he just pulled a Muhammad. Wow.
Yeah, no, I'm all about segues on this show.
I'm proud of you.
His segue game is on point.
Better than
I do segues.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so the former president, number 41? Yeah.
41.
George,
41 is dead.
George Bush, 41. Made famous by Dana Carvey. He passed away at his home in Texas.
Wait, if George H.W. Bush is 41, how are his kids older than him?
I'm going to slap the shit out of you. Sorry, we don't curse on this show
anymore. It was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez meme, and I just had to say
you were channeling Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I was like, what are you doing? Why? Okay.
Well, also, speaking of things I also didn't know, I did not know that this guy was a freaking army pilot for the whole of World War II.
Was he Army?
Well, yeah.
I think he was Navy.
No, Army. I looked it up. It was
Okay.
Army.
I trust you.
Yeah,
because I was surprised. I mean, I hope I looked up the right thing, but I think I saw Army Air Corps.
Okay.
Yeah. Which makes him much more badass.
Yeah. But yeah, 94 years old. Somebody asked how he died. I said his heart stopped or he stopped breathing because he was 94.
Yeah, what is the... So, I get the miracles of modern medicine, but at 90 anything, when someone's like, well, how'd he die?
Yeah.
He flipped his Camaro in a police chase. What do you mean, how'd he die? Like, how did he die?
He died. He just died.
He let in a breath, and then that was it.
And it was over.
You know,
Well, then he let it out.
You know what's kind of sad is when I think about it, I think of it like Carrie Fisher's mother had died a couple of months after hers. I'm assuming.
I don't even think it was a couple of months. I think that was like.
Yeah. And I assume it was out of pure sadness over losing her daughter.
It was.
I think George Bush may also have just been like, it's time to go see her.
Oh, I'm sure, because she died earlier this year.
Yeah,
right?
she did. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you're in your 90s.
Yeah.
You've done pretty much everything you can do as a human male. Like, I mean.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, you've pretty much done it all at this point. You fought in the war. In the big one. And you
started the little one.
He started a bunch of little ones. He overthrew a dictator because of the raisin thing, or he installed a dictator because of the raisin thing.
Because of the raisin thing.
Zero context on that I'm going to provide. That's literally all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
about
even I don't get
it. Right, no one knows what I'm talking about. But the raisin thing. I mean, what else? The guy, he was the head of the CIA.
He raised taxes.
He raised the taxes.
He did promise no new taxes.
He promised no new taxes.
And I think this is my thought. He didn't say no new taxes. I think that he said no nude taxes. Like he's not going to tax you for being naked in your home.
Oh.
So technically he didn't lie.
Well, good thing he wasn't the president of France when he did that.
Man, you are just all over. You're just going through our show notes.
I haven't seen your show notes.
I read them to you.
You
know me, man. In one ear out, the other ear.
We're gonna touch on that in a moment. Yeah. Funny you should say that. Yeah. So, speaking of France, George Bush. What was it? Oh, yeah. So. He also, I think, said, read my hips.
He did, read my hips.
His hips did lie.
His hips, well, unless he said no nude taxes. In which case, his hips did not lie.
And then he did a little shimmy.
Right. Because he was letting you know, I'm not going to tax you for being nude.
And then he did that.
Right.
And now he's dead. So.
Could you imagine, I could not imagine Bush being up there, read my hips, no nude taxes.
Wouldn't be prudent.
Wouldn't be prudent. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
So I'm aging myself, as is Matt, but I grew up on Dana Carvey making fun of George Bush.
And Ross Perot.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish?
Can I finish?
Yeah, that Saturday, the 92 Saturday Night Live election cycle
was amazing.
Which I've only seen on DVD.
Who was Clinton? Phil Hartman. Yeah, because we weren't alive.
Because we weren't alive then. Yeah, Phil Hartman.
We're only in our teens.
Yeah, Phil Hartman was
Clinton.
Was Clinton.
And Dana Carvey was both Bush and Perot.
Right. And when they did that debate, one of them was green screened in, which was amazing for live television at the time.
Oh yeah, that would be.
Yeah, they couldn't believe, like, it was absolutely incredible that they were able to do it at the time. Now, one of the great
that's what I heard about 92. I don't really remember it.
One of the greatest moments from that year. I think it was that year. No, actually, it was after Dana Carvey left and he came back. So it would have been a few years later. He was doing the opening monologue as George H.W., not George
right.
W. He was doing George H.W. as the opening monologue, and he was out there just laying into George H.W. as hard as you can, you know? And
right.
Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent. No, bad. The war, not good.
all the hand motions, and HW called into the show, and they had him on a live feed, and he started making fun of himself at the same time, and he was like, "It's a bad impression, just bad. I don't do that with my hands." And it was really
he didn't say any of those things. Like, he never said wouldn't be prudent, not gonna do it. Like, that was purely Dana Carvey.
Yeah, that was 100% Dana Carvey. So it was there was something that he had for Ross Perot that Ross Perot had never said, and Ross Perot was on some late night show. I don't remember if it was Letterman or Leno, and he said, "I got to start saying it now. Everybody expects me to say it." It was just funny because Dana Carvey like created these taglines for him. But yeah, he called in and he was like, at the end of it, he was like, "I'm really glad that we get a chance to laugh at each other because at the end we know that, you know, we can still be okay with each other," which completely different time in politics. Like, you may see Bush as a tyrant, as a guy that raised taxes, started unnecessary wars.
For the Raisin Company.
Whatever. Like, you can see him however you want. But at the end of the day, the guy that made fun of him the most was Dana Carvey. And even they said that they could get along.
He did not murder Dana Carvey.
He did not murder Dana Carvey.
To his eternal credit.
Right. Dana Carvey is still alive.
Dana Carvey, still alive. George Bush dead.
Right.
so not for nothing. But speaking of Ross Perot, the reality is that, like, if you look at the fundamentals of the election, I think it was something like because pretty much Ross Perot took a bunch of angry Bush voters for the most part. He didn't really bring in new voters, and I doubt he really stripped away much from the Democrat side. They said, like, if 3/4 of Ross Perot voters had voted for George Bush, he would have won in roughly the same landslide that he beat Michael Dukakis.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah. So it wasn't like we're told there was this big sea change politically that Bush said no new taxes and everyone lost their minds and voted for Clinton. Clinton got 43% of the vote.
Well, he said no. Okay, so he said no new taxes in '88.
No, I know. He said no new taxes. He raised the taxes. It pissed everyone off,
right?
Which allowed Perot to get in. Between that and like what was it?
NAFTA. And between those two things, that got Perot in. So I mean, yes. I guess my point is, no one really ever liked Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton never got 50% of the vote. No,
that's my point.
Right. He didn't. He never won the popular vote.
You said just a quarter. So are most of the Perot voters? They would have voted for Bush then?
No, if 3/4 had voted for Bush,
right,
he would have gotten the same...
So most of the Perot voters would have voted for Bush, is what you're saying.
Yeah. They were like, my parents voted for Perot.
Okay.
And then we're like losing their minds that Clinton was winning. And I mean, at the time I was a fetus. I don't remember that. No, I was 10. And so, I mean, I wasn't fully aware of all the intricacies of...
How old are you? That doesn't seem right.
Who, me? I'm like 46 years old.
This was 91?
92.
92.
Yeah, it was 92. And so I remember my parents were like losing their minds that Clinton won. And a few years later, I was like, why'd you guys vote for Perot? And they're like, because we were mad at Bush. I'm like, all right, but Clinton won. Like, so that made Clinton win when you voted for Perot.
Well... Same LP argument. If they want to vote for somebody,
yeah. So I mean, I don't see it as that Perot stole the vote. I see it that Bush did not run a good enough campaign.
Yeah, he didn't earn their votes.
Right, he didn't earn the vote. But at the same time, yeah, if Perot hadn't been in it, Bush would have won, and Clinton would.
Can't hear shit.
Yeah, I think my bigger point is that Clinton is not who like.
I was like, apparently we're losing Mohammed already. He's just taking the mic off. He's just I'm out.
This show's stupid.
As long as he goes out that door back there, I'm fine with
it. This show is dumb and I hate it. So I mean, Clinton got 43% in '92 and like 46%, and I guess I'm just trying to say, Clinton. No one ever really liked Clinton.
He was not the popular. He was not the popular go-getter, the popular firebrand that he is now.
So who were the? Because I don't know.
He was still a rapist, though.
He was still a rapist. He was not popular. Was a rapist.
He was a mildly popular rapist.
He was the most popular rapist in the 90s.
I don't know. Bill Cosby probably was the most popular rapist in the 90s.
Most popular known rapist in the 90s.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So
what was your?
I don't know this, but so who was the up and coming Democrats who are the up and coming Democrats in '94, other than Clinton, that would have ran if Bush had won? Would you know? Or I guess would you know?
94.
I guess
because that would have been the next election, right? Am I doing my calculations? No, 96. I'm retarded. Sorry, 96.
Yeah, 94 was the midterm. 96.
Yeah.
So it would have been like Gore.
Yeah, Gore would have been there. Clinton would have run again.
Clinton would have run again.
His wife, maybe?
No.
Instead of him?
No,
that was a newer thing. Like, yeah,
they knew that wasn't going to happen.
No one even liked her at all until she stuck with him, even after he was getting
the blowy in the
old Oval Office.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
made her as sympathetic.
So it probably could have been Clinton in '96.
It could have been Clinton in '96.
It could have been, yeah.
But unless somebody the Republicans put up would have won again.
Well, they were putting up Bob Dole, so it didn't matter. Bob Dole. Yeah, they were going to put up Bob Dole. It was Bob Dole's turn, so they're going to put up Bob Dole in '96, no matter what.
Yeah, prior to Trump, there was like an order for Republicans. They would say that Democrats fall in love and Republicans fall in line. So the Democrats would just fall in love with whatever candidate, spoke to their feelings the most in that cycle. And Republicans would be like, who came in second last time? All right, let's pick him.
Yeah, it's his turn.
Like, it was literally that way, which is why everyone kind of assumed that, initially people were talking about, Santorum is going to be the 2016 candidate. I'm like, no, the hell he isn't.
No.
And they were like, well, he came in second. I'm like, no, the hell he isn't. Like that.
No, that's just a no.
Yeah.
No. Never mind. I think we talked about this the last time I called in during the midterm election show.
That was weeks ago.
Yeah, weeks ago. If I was running for office right now, I would be so on board the Trump train.
You have to.
You have to.
If you're going to run as a Republican, look at even popular people like Mia Love. She was popular in her state. She didn't embrace Trump. She didn't get reelected.
Yep.
And I don't remember the breakdowns, but I was reading either 538 or what's the other one? One of the polling sites where they break down election metrics, and they said there was a disproportionately high number of Republicans who didn't get reelected in this midterm, who did not support Trump or were the most open. It was the more openly critical of Trump you were, the more likely you were not to get reelected.
Yeah,
right.
You can't tell me that DeSantis and Scott didn't win in squeakers in Florida because they embraced Trump. If they had not embraced Trump, they would have lost.
Absolutely. Because Putnam was the favorite person to lead here in Florida, and when he wasn't, I don't think he was openly anti-Trump, but he was openly away from keeping away from Trump.
Yeah, he wasn't embracing Trump. He was just kind of like
did.
I believe, and I'm not 100% sure, but I believe Putnam's quote on this was, "He's our president, and I respect the office." I think that was kind of his stance on Trump. So with DeSantis, he was like, "I love our president. I think he's great."
Exactly. That's exactly what I would do.
He was full on with Trump, and Scott didn't present himself. Rick Scott, by the way, because I was calling him Ben Scott in the last episode. What was I calling him?
I don't know.
Brian Scott or something?
No, that was Brian Kemp. We were calling the wrong name.
Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I had a bad, it was either the last episode or the episode before. We were recapping.
Oh, you called him Bill.
Bill Scott.
Yeah, because Bill
Rick
Nelson.
Yeah, beat Rick Nelson. And every name you'd be like, no, that's right.
That's not wrong. That's not right.
That's not. And then I'm like, Ron DeSantis beat Billy Gillum. And I got Andrew
everybody's name was Billy for some reason last week.
Everyone was Billy. Oh, Billy beat William. It was terrible. I got Stacey Abrams right, and I got Andrew Gillum right. all the white people I got wrong. Literally all white people I got wrong. But I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, yes. Yeah, if you're a Republican, you have to come in as like a full-throated, Trump-trained, MAGA hat. Oh, yeah. Like, you have to.
You know, and the mainstream media, and I've seen a couple of our friends on Facebook talk about, just mention it. They're not in support of it. Like Ben Sass in a primary against Trump, you know, from a Republican. And I was just like, that's the dumbest thing anybody could do because he will destroy them. Yeah. There's no point running against Trump. You have to be... I'm sorry. I can't think of any way anybody could win against Trump in a primary. That makes no sense.
Right. And
yeah, especially right now.
Yeah. This is not a generally pro-Trump show. I mean, we like when he cuts taxes and regulations.
Exactly.
And we savage him the rest of the time. But like, there is no one that even comes close to having in either party, but especially in the Republican Party, of having a political voting group that's as devoted to anyone else as they are to him.
Absolutely.
His group is bigger than Obama's group was.
Yep.
I was talking to a very staunch conservative Republican the other day who I talk about on this show from time to time. And he said, I believe that Trump is one of the greatest presidents of all time and possibly the greatest in my lifetime. And he was born in 1946. And
Holy crap.
Yeah. And I will let that one go. I wasn't gonna get into it. I was like, you know, you believe whatever you want.
But that's a very widespread sentiment. Like, I often hear people go, "He's better than Reagan." I'm like, all right. Like, I mean, I'm an anarchist. I don't really like any of them. But if you know, he's got a wide. I mean, you saw the guy, Liberal Lies.
Yeah, Liberal Lies.
On our page, the guy was like, Trump's the best. He's fighting for our nation, and he's cutting the deficit. And I'm like,
the deficit is going down rapidly.
And I'm like, it's actually going up rapidly. And he's like, Liberal Lies. And that's like...
That comes from your president's Treasury Department.
Right. The Liberal Lies Department.
Or, yeah.
The deep state. You can't trust the deep state.
You can't trust the deep state.
You can't trust them. But yeah, so I mean, when Mohammed runs for office, he will be running on the legacy of of Trumpism.
Yeah,
you got to build the wall.
Yeah. Even if Trump's out of office, I could see Mohammed being like, "I know I'm Muslim, but Trump best president."
I'm a Trump slum. No, I mean, look at how Reagan was, right? Like, our entire lives, every single Republican talked about Reagan while he was alive like he was one of the greatest men ever.
Like he was Jesus.
Well, and when he died, he was Jesus.
Except he didn't come back.
No, some of them thought he was coming back. And he's coming back with a flaming sword, and he's going to slay our enemies. But I mean, no. I mean, they talked about Reagan, and then Trump came along and was like, Reagan who?
Right.
No one talks about Reagan. When was the last time you heard someone say they were a Reagan conservative?
Yeah, I mean...
Trump supporters.
They still use that term?
Yeah, they all wear the Reagan Bush hats.
That's true. That's true.
So honestly, yeah, I would say a little enough. Actually, I mean, I think there's been a resurgence ever since Trump, which is kind of weird. I have not seen those hats as often as I have since Trump's election. And
that's interesting.
Yeah, and from a lot of the Trump followers or Trump fans on my Facebook, guys, girls, I've seen them wear these hats that are Trump people.
So I've seen those like making a resurgence recently, but I also know that God, what's that hipster store?
Hipster store?
There's a hipster store.
You're a disgrace to your people for not knowing the name of it.
I know. I really should.
How dare you not know the name of every white people store?
I really should know the name of this store. But they were selling Reagan Bush 84s shirts and hats.
A hipster store?
At a hipster store. This was a long time.
That's peak irony there.
It's the same place that had the Kent State shirt that had the blood splatter on it.
Are you talking? Oh, what's that place?
Urban Outfitters.
Urban Outfitters?
Yeah.
They're racist, man. They advertised a black kid with a monkey T-shirt.
Yeah, that was funny.
Was that Urban Outfitters?
Yes.
I thought that was H&M.
Oh shit, I'm wrong. H&M.
No, that was Urban Outfitters.
No, I think he's right.
We're going to blame it on Urban Outfitters.
He's right.
I don't think that was. I don't think that was. And I think the shirt said "just swinging vine to vine," if I remember correctly.
Urban Outfitters, screw you. Talking about black people like that, we don't support that, and we don't even need to research if it was really you.
Nope, found it. It's definitely H&M.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had
Urban Outfitters.
They Urban Outfitters.
I'm not letting up on this. Screw you.
They definitely had the shirt that it was Kent State, and then it looked like somebody had been shot with blood around it. And I tried to buy that shirt, but they pulled that thing so fast. I was like, no, I want to purchase that one.
You got any in the back?
Yeah, I'll take all of them. I don't even care on sizes at this point.
You can resell them when they're on the black market once they're not available anymore.
I wonder if the monkeying around T-shirts, were those pulled?
Yes.
Yeah, you can't get them. Because there were people who were like, I want one for my kid. I'm like, you don't want one for your kid. You just want to fuck around with the hoodie that pisses everyone off.
Are they your black friends?
No, they weren't black.
Okay. I was going to say, do they... Never mind.
This is the legacy you've created, Urban Outfitters.
Well, not really. I'm the racist on the show, so
That's true.
That is true. But I also blame that on Urban Outfitters. I have a long, proud history of blaming
Urban Outfitters
starting recently. Speaking of shirts with blood on them,
stand for
guess
Rand.
what? That shirt doesn't have blood on it.
Oh, it's all bloody.
Well,
This is the blood of the youth of the liberty movement trying so hard.
the blood of when you get hit mowing your lawn.
Yeah. All right, sorry. What were you going to say?
France.
Oh, yeah.
France. Good old Paris Stan is having they're having a French gas party. Matt coined that term.
They are
TM.
Yeah, copyright the Muddy Waters meeting.
Right.
All rights reserved.
They're they apparently went back a couple hundred years. They went back a couple hundred years in American history, and they're like, look, in December 16th of 1774. I'm gonna guess. I don't know. I know December 16th. I don't know the year. So December 16th, the Americans got mad about a tax on tea and threw all their tea into
73.
Threw all their tea into water.
Into the harbor.
Into the Boston Harbor.
French said we're gonna one up you on that one because we're just gonna burn everything.
We're mad about a gas tax and a carbon tax, so we are going to pollute the ever-living crap out of the environment.
Oh, you don't like fossil fuels?
Yeah.
Let me show you what fossil fuels can do.
Wait till you see what happens next.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny, yeah, because it's a carbon tax, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, yeah, we're going to make a footprint right here in Paris and the surrounding areas. Speaking of the Boston Tea Party, this isn't the segue. I'm actually speaking about the Boston Tea Party. I
like how you have to clarify
what's he
that.
talk about now? So that tax was 0.88% tax. I don't know where because I always heard that it was a 3% tax that pissed everyone off. It was 0.88%.
Yeah, but in socialist whatever, that's a lot of money.
It pissed off my people weren't here yet, but our forefathers. Sort of, I guess Matt's forefathers, not mine or Mohammed's, but Matt's forefathers got. When did your people get? Matt, were our forefathers here?
Yeah.
Any of us? Okay.
No, there were a couple.
Yeah. Well, specifically.
No, I mean like your specific family. I'm sure there were.
Yeah.
There were definitely people here.
1988.
Yeah. No. I definitely from family lore, which that's Elizabeth Warren-y. I did have family here back then. I don't know how accurate that is. I never looked at. I don't care. Like I know that people do. I just don't. I don't care.
Your mom doesn't care.
No, she doesn't. You're right. Because whether or not I had ancestors here in 1773 or not doesn't change who I am today. It makes zero difference on who I am right now.
Someone's ancestors got pissed off, I think is my point, about a less than 1% tax
on tea.
On tea, which was a staple at the time. It's not like now where people are like, oh, I'm going to have my chamomile tea. Like tea back then was like how coffee is now.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Or I think even more so because even like kids were like it was we were still a very British mentality. Like there was tea time and all that stuff. So it was a big deal, but it was like 1%. But it was the symbolism of you're not going to raise my damn taxes. Fast forward to today. What percent tax would it take to cause a violent revolt in the U.S.?
Oh, there isn't one. There isn't one.
There isn't one.
So far, apparently none. And this isn't on your list, but I'm sure you guys may have at least ran across it. But Chicago just passed a amusement tax on gamers.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. And no one's rioting. But we are going to get a lot of those Chicago refugees because of that, probably.
Well, yeah, but then they're going to go...
Like video gaming?
Yes. Yeah, amusement tax. Yeah, I'll pull it up right now as we...
How do they tax them? Like minutes played or the actual equipment or whatever?
It's got to be on the equipment. It's got to be like a send tax on
video games.
On video games.
For God's sake.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, I did see that. But, yeah, there is zero... The way that we are now, we are so indoctrinated, obviously not the people here or the people who are watching, or listening.
Everybody else.
Everybody else except for the people who are currently...
Our lovely viewing audience.
Right, our viewing and listening audience. Everybody else has become so indoctrinated to the fact that, we need taxes for roads or schools or firefighters or whatever, that we just kind of accept it every time a new one comes in, and that just is across the board. We don't. Yeah. It doesn't matter. So yeah, the federal government, Nancy Pelosi and her ilk could pass a 60% income tax, federal income tax, and
people would just be pissy about it.
Yeah, people would be upset about it, but that would be it. It would be over.
That would be it.
Because you would
vote harder.
You would end up having the people, you vote harder. But you would end up having the people, like, you'd bitch about it and you complain about it and be like, we need to start a revolution. And then you'd have that one dude on the internet who's like, do you really think your guns would be able to beat the American military?
And then Eric Swalwell shows up.
Okay, so the Americans for Tax Reform website says it's a 9% tax for services like Netflix, Spotify, and Xbox Live.
That's absurd.
So it's being applied to streaming services.
So if you're paying $12 a month for Netflix, that means that you're going to be adding an extra
9 cents.
Yeah, like another dollar.
No, yeah, it's going to be another dollar. It's going to be like about 98 cents.
Holy shit.
Which is, I mean...
Yeah, it's negligible.
No, it's enough though.
It's negligible, but it's enough to piss you off if you...
Well, yeah, but everybody that has Xbox Live probably has Spotify and probably streams Netflix and everything else that applies as a streaming service.
And it adds up. And
so it will add up.
Even the principle out of it adds up because it's money that they've already taxed every other way. So it's your post-tax money, and now you're spending it on stuff. They're like, yeah, we're taxing that too. But our forefathers... or someone's forefathers, Matt's possible forefathers. Maybe if it had been a 0.88% tax, if they were like, yeah, we're gonna get a penny a month from your Netflix, they'd be shooting cops, literally. I'm not saying you should go out and shoot cops because that's illegal, and we don't encourage law breaking. I'm just saying that
we here at the Muddied Waters of Freedom do not condone shooting of cops.
Ever.
Or rape. We're gonna get,
let's go ahead and
we're getting that one out of the way. We do not condone rape here.
Let's just go ahead and clear the air on rape.
Right.
Against it. Against rape.
We are definitely against rape here, and we don't want you to kill cops.
How virtuous of us.
We don't. We're against rape and are not. I will never tell anyone. Really, I'm not going to tell anyone to shoot anyone.
No.
I'm just saying that when we shoot off fireworks and eat a lot on the 4th of July, we're celebrating people that did shoot at cops. So
that's right.
Hey, get mad at yourself. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, that was the thin red line that they were fighting.
That was the thin red line, the thin red coat.
The thin.
They're just trying to get home to their families, guys.
Yeah, they just want to get home. But yeah, so France is over there, and I heard the most French thing I've ever heard of my life today.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tell us about that.
During the riots, they've been confiscating all sorts of things from people.
Because they keep killing people.
Because they keep killing cops. And the cops switch sides. The cops are like, I'm done. I don't want to die. I'm going to join them. Also, just so everybody knows, illegal to do accents in France now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
So
it's illegal to do accents in France?
It's France.
I know that was a bill proposed. I don't know if it actually passed. But yeah, illegal. I know they were trying to make it illegal to do accents in France. So, but the cops were like, "Oh, we don't want to die," so they switched sides. But at some point, either one of the cops who didn't switch side, or one of the cops who switched side, but before he did that, he confiscated a bunch of crap. He confiscated a weapon from somebody, and it's a knife or a sword. It was a blade of some kind that the person had hid inside of a baguette. So it's like you got your baguette in the sleeve, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna go out and riot. You just rip the baguette in half. And you got your knife in there, and you just start swinging away. Like, this is the most French weapon ever.
That is very French.
Ever.
Other than, like, if you had a block of Gruyere with a guillotine in it.
Right.
You put your head under the Gruyere, and then you do the thing.
All I know about the entire situation, like, obviously, they're fighting against taxes over there, which, yes, way to go, France. And you've got...
And burning fossil fuels as they do it.
In protest of the fossil tax.
Yeah, one of the funniest things I also noticed on Facebook is a lot of liberals are out there like, well, at least their government is listening to them. Ours would never do that. And I'm like, you realize that they're revolting over a carbon tax, right? Like, they want to burn more or cheaply.
Yeah.
Like,
and
stupid.
weren't they chanting, like, we want Trump or something? Like, some of them were chanting,
I think they were doing
Trump
that.
Or something.
Like, I know that Macron, right? Macron?
Yeah, macaroni.
Macron.
Like, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Macron is up there in the president's mansion, sweating and coward.
Putting up guillotine. I absolutely love it. I would never say to do that here because that's illegal. I'm just saying that's fun to watch.
And remember that France was still using the guillotine when Star Wars came out. So, like, it's not an old thing for them.
Wow, so that was... Oh, so they only got rid of it when they joined the EU because you can't have the death penalty if you're an EU country then.
I don't know. I mean, I know that they were doing the guillotine in 1977. I don't know when they cut it.
So they were doing it... Yeah, and that was around when they joined the EU. So they were using the guillotine all the way up until they stopped executing people.
That's pretty fucking awesome.
It is pretty awesome. I mean...
Can we get the good France again?
I'll tell you what.
The one from 1977?
Someone revived Napoleon.
I think it's happening. This is based France. We're experiencing the new and improved France 2.0.
Well, you know.
Is burning everything and demanding. I mean, what happens? So is there are we in the timeline where Donald Trump becomes the overlord of France?
He just takes over as world leader.
Just of France.
There's
France
no more
has such a violent revolt, and they keep demanding he take over.
I didn't want people coming here illegally. No more borders. One country, one world, one nation.
I don't know if you guys talked about the massive global right-wing backlash. You'll see articles always titled as far right this thing or that thing won in this country, like Bolsonaro in Brazil. I was
just trying to remember his name.
In Spain, they have a party called Vox. I don't know much about their politics, so apparently they're the opposite of the Vox news source. Yeah, because they were described as
news source in quotes on that.
Yeah,
one.
they reported. It was reported that they are a far right, and I just laughed. I was like, every fucking thing is far right to these people.
Man, we were doing so well on not.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm new here, and I don't remember that we're not doing this anymore.
What are we doing?
Cursing on the show.
Oh,
it's just one word.
Gosh darn it. there, I canceled it out.
Yeah, and Spain also just had a resurgence. Nope. Austria, like last year, I think, and it's like, no, now France. So it's like, no, I think the right wing is still in the middle of its backlash. A lot of people keep thinking, a lot of these people on the left, they keep thinking, oh, this is it, now we're going to come out. And I'm like, no, this is all in reaction to you.
Yeah.
This is not, this is not an extension of the last 20 years. It's the opposite. This is a reaction to it.
Yeah. No. So the right is the counterculture now. So
yes.
It was always, the left was always the counterculture. Yeah. Even when they dominated culture, they were the counterculture. So the schools still had more of a traditionalist bent. Parents still had a traditionalist bent. Society in general still was more, in a traditional, and it was the left always pushing. And it's in the last 15, 20 years that they're now the ones in charge. You now get shamed for stuff that, like, for example, and I'm not going to, say one way or another, but there is nothing controversial, for example, of saying a person with a penis is a man. And whether you agree with that statement or not, that's not a controversial statement. And if you had told someone 10, 15, forget 20, 25 years ago that a person with a penis was a man, that was going to be controversial, they would have laughed at you.
Muhammad gets really upset by that statement because he doesn't have one.
Oh,
absolutely.
Well,
did you guys see that?
Well, I didn't say you had to have a penis to be a man. I just said if you had a penis.
Oh.
So
that's good spin. I like it.
This feminist on Twitter, she's one of what the leftists call crazy feminists, which is funny.
Okay.
That the leftists,
as opposed
to...
there is a small number of feminists that hate transgenderism because men that
I've
heard about that.
Red femmes,
yeah. So this feminist wrote on Twitter that she wrote, "Men are not women," and then she was banned.
Like, that's where we are right now. The culture, the predominant culture.
And I don't hate transgender people, just so you know.
No, and me either. I have close loved ones and family who are transgender, and I personally, if someone asks me to use a certain pronoun, then I'll do it.
Oh yeah.
Because identity is a big deal and whatever. Like, I don't even fully know what I think about it, other than I think that I honestly, I mean, I'm all over the place with it. It's something that I'm glad I don't battle with myself. But like you said, I'm certainly not hating on anyone. But the idea that even questioning that is considered this, like, heresy and this bigotry it's insane. Yeah. Like, and that's just one example. Like, there are so many examples of, like, it's okay to be white. It's okay.
It's okay to be 99.9991% white.
It's okay to be 1,023rd, 1,024th.
I got into an argument with a friend of mine over that because a Kava person.
That's not surprising.
And he posted a picture of him holding it up like this next to a telephone pole, with a sad face. And he was like,
holding what up?
Holding what up?
Oh, it's okay to be white sign.
Oh, okay. I was like, we need more information.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's holding an it's okay to be white sign, and he was talking about how this is not okay. People aren't feeling safe over it. Oh, he's white, obviously.
Right.
And
yeah, of course.
And I was like, dude, like, you are falling for. So I think the it's okay to be white thing has not been completely co-opted by white supremacists, but there are white supremacists that are okay with the tactic because of something they call racial awakening. Right. So as in, when white people keep seeing liberals go around saying that it's not okay to be white, basically, that they would become more racially aware of the white genocide or whatever.
They use it as a recruitment tool, but the reason they use it as a recruitment tool is because they're being told that it's not okay in the first place.
Exactly.
If I said, and this is the same thing I say about Black Lives Matter, there's nothing in my mind. Yes, Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
But then people say, okay, yeah, but the Black Lives Matter organization is radical and blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. That organization wouldn't even exist if no one was opposed to the idea, if you didn't see such a resistance of people going, what do you mean Black Lives Matter? Everyone's life matters. The cops matter. Like, this is another example of that, but in a much bigger way where, like, you can get kicked out of school for saying it's okay to be white.
Yeah.
Not it's great, not you're superior, not even it's good. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
When
not bad thing to be a white person.
When you, Spike Cohen,
right?
You personally, Spike Cohen, created the "It's okay to be 99.9991% white."
Copyright Spike Cohen.
Copyright Spike Cohen.
2018.
2018. Remember, people always watermark. Always watermark. But when you created that, I shared it, and I've got a guy that I've known for years.
Oh yeah,
a guy, not the girl one.
Yeah, I know, but that too.
He is a black gentleman, and he and I have been friends for years. We just disagree politically, and he said, "No, it's not," and I said. And my response almost was, "Is that not pure enough?" But I decided not to go that way. I decided not to go that way.
It's not okay. That's race mixing.
It's race mixing. Somewhere down the line, there was some race mixing going on. But yeah, no, I said, no, it's okay to be 99.99 whatever, 1% white.
Copyright Spike Cohen.
Copyright Spike Cohen. It's okay to be that. It's okay to be 50% white. It's okay to be 20% white. It's okay to be 0% white. It doesn't matter. It's okay.
It's okay to be
just all okay.
Okay to be Talcum X.
You can be good old Talcum X.
You can be, exactly. You can be something like 80-ish% white person who doesn't like other white people. That's okay too.
That's fine.
I guess I didn't share this. I don't know where I saw it earlier, but there was like a post about how like, It was about like how this person was talking about if it's okay for them to learn Japanese because they have.
I saw that. Joe shared it.
Fairbotham. Oh, it was him. Yeah. And it was
the
like
mom was Japanese.
Yeah,
and he goes, "Can I learn Japanese? My mom was Japanese." And the person who he was like, I guess he was replying to an article on cultural appropriation, and the person who wrote the article said, "No, your dad already appropriated the culture by marrying or impregnating. I'm going to assume marrying." By marrying the mom, so you should do your best to appropriate Western culture and end the, what'd they say, like the nation building.
We get, that's the line of thinking. And I was just like, these are the same people that I've seen make fun of the white genocide argument because it's the same exact argument, honestly.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, okay, fair enough. Then don't be mad at the white genocide argument because that's what white people that believe in that are saying.
Right.
No one's coming for your whiteness. We must destroy whiteness. It's one or the other. Like, you don't get to say, I guess you can, but no one's going to take you seriously. And I mean, first of all, and I get to say this because I'm Jewish.
Well, you're Ashkenazi, so that's like half Jewish.
I'm freaking white.
Yeah, Ashkenazi.
Let's not do that. But we're not now. But this is Hanukkah. Don't do it on Hanukkah.
Oh, I apologize.
We can do that on Christmas.
Yeah, bar mitzvah. I'm sorry.
We'll revisit this.
I like how you just threw out a random Jewish word. Bar mitzvah. Bar mitzvah. I apologize.
Bar mitzvah.
Kosher. I'm sorry.
It's kosher. Smoked salmon. What was I even saying? No, the thing. So you don't get to. So this is a pet peeve of mine. Fellow white people, we need to whatever fellow white people need to do. I'm not white, I'm Jewish. Like, I'm white, okay? have some African heritage. I obviously have some Semitic heritage. I am a white guy. Okay, Judaism is my faith, and I'm a white guy. And I will talk about being Jewish and being white. But you're never going to hear me say, first of all, I don't like fellow white people because I don't speak for anyone but me. And second of all, I don't get to code switch and be like, oh, well, you know, us white people, how about us, huh? You know what I'm talking about? And then go, well, I'm not really white, I'm Jewish. What the hell are you doing?
Oh, like, you don't get it both ways.
You don't get it both ways. And that is a form of, and I hate saying white genocide because no one's actually murdering white people. But like you...
Well, obviously they mean a cultural.
The cultural,
right?
Exactly.
But I mean, that's not a genocide.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's not an actual
the genocides are happening in Darfur.
Yeah, but even the lefties are now using that same argument. By the way, about Jewish people, Candace says hi.
Candy's
nuts fit in your mouth.
Look, well, you just lost microphone access for a while.
Don't do this on Hanukkah.
I know. Jesus.
We're just going to use Hanukkah as the catch-all to not do things.
It was John Sterner, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You lost microphone access longer. So, all that to say.
Oh, and you did. I didn't see it until the playback. You did the dab too.
He dabbed.
Was it a good one?
He dabbed.
It was a dab.
It was a dab.
It was a good dab.
It was a dab.
It was definitely a solid dab.
So
yeah. So don't do that. Leave the white people alone.
Right. Leave the white people. Leave the black.
Leave
everybody alone. It just doesn't.
Everybody alone.
Doesn't just have to be the white people. Leave everybody alone.
Leave everybody alone.
Have you heard about the Nigeria? Have you heard about the Nigeria? Nigeria.
Oh, we're getting a call.
Man.
Oh my God! It better not be who I think it is.
Thank you for calling the Muddied Waters of Freedom. This is Matt speaking. How may I help you?
Hey, Matt, it's Kareem.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
How's it going, man?
Man, it's going really well.
Kareem El Said?
I saw you guys are live right now.
No, yeah. Definitely live right now. Definitely live.
Assalamu alaikum ya Kareem.
وعليكم السلام.
Oh, بتحكي عربي.
بركاته.
Man, we just dropped like every viewer.
This is still Hanukkah.
أهلا بيك. أنا اسمي محمد. أنا مصري. أنت من فين؟
أنا مصري وأبويا صعيدي.
والله العظيم. أهلا بيك يا كريم. Oh, I just found out we're both Egyptian. Yeah. I like this guy. We should keep him on.
This is Kareem El Said?
This is Kareem L-I-C-E, right?
El Sayed.
Sayed. Oh, Kareem.
Yeah.
Oh. I thought this was one of your friends.
No.
Never mind.
Well, it is. We are friends.
Well, like, yeah. No. Well, you said Al Said. I'm like, I know Sayed, but not. Yeah, never mind. Okay. Yeah. What's up, Kareem?
How's it going, Mo?
Good, man. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm glad to be on.
Yeah.
Saw the number was posted. Might as well give a call, right?
Hell yeah.
That's why we put it there.
What are we talking about so we can get his point of view? Oh, genocide.
Genocide.
White genocide.
Or France.
I think Kareem is contributing to genocide because aren't you dating like a white Jewish girl?
No.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. Like white.
Jewish not anymore?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Jewish people don't count towards white. I can do whatever I want. I'm Jewish. I'm already white genocide.
Kareem, don't cry. I didn't know that wasn't a thing anymore.
Yeah, it's okay, man. It's already too late. I'm crying now.
Oh, no.
But you got a lot of time to play Red Dead Redemption or whatever the heck that game is called.
Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, okay.
2. But yeah, what I was saying when Kareem called, I saw a story about Nigeria. Is the government is cracking down on bleaching creams. I guess in Africa it's a fad with some Africans. Well, I don't know exactly what it does, but I'm sure it's exactly what it sounds like. It makes their skin tone lighter.
Yeah,
that's correct.
And like all these people were like, "Yeah, this is a good thing," blah blah blah. And I'm like, that's sad that you have to resort to violence, basically, rather than like convincing your fellow Africans that they shouldn't be using bleaching creams. You know, And it's the same concept. They look at it as these Africans are a disgrace to their race because they're trying to look white, which I don't think that's what they're trying to do. I think they're just trying to get a lighter skin tone. But if that's a bad idea, convince them, not tell the government to stop people from selling it or else,
Put them in cages, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, Kareem.
What's up?
So what are your opinions on the either France or the white genocide? Because those are the two things that we were talking about.
Well, not just white genocide. We got onto white genocide because of minority genocide. Like some black nationalists believe that that blacks should marry whites, and we talked about a post about like a Japanese person saying a white person marrying his mom.
That was about cultural appropriation.
That was cultural appropriation.
Yeah, but it was technically about Japanese.
That was
anyways,
yeah.
Sure, yeah.
So what do you think about
that? Can you hear us, Kareem?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Yeah, so tell us your thoughts.
So regarding what's going on in France, you really got to hand it to them. They managed to bring the entire country to a halt and force the fucking socialist-ass government of theirs to delay the tax increase.
Yep.
Maybe we could take a lesson or two from them.
As long as you're not calling for violence.
I was going to say, I'm not sure if it's a great idea for a Muslim guy in America to call for a revolution.
For the record, I am not encouraging any form of rioting or violence. I know the NSA and the CIA and the FBI are tapping into this call right now. So, wallahi habibis, I'm not encouraging anything. Wallah. Okay.
Well, yeah. I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm just saying you may not be the best spokesperson.
Let the Jew say it.
Right.
Yeah, one of my good friends...
The Jew gets some latitude.
One of my good friends, Ryan, shared a post that Joshua Smith had made about it. And he was...
Oh, yeah.
And he's a good dude, but... I was like, no, man, Josh isn't calling for violence. He's just making a point. The point that I guess you were... No, both of you, when we're talking about tea and what we did in response to the taxes.
Right.
That's the point he was making. He wasn't calling for violence. I haven't seen a single libertarian say with, unironically that we need to go around killing people and destroying property.
No, not yet.
Although I think... I do like my ANCAP is coming out right now a little bit, but I do think it would be okay to. This is just me. This is not. These thoughts belong to Mohammed Shaker, not the show. I think that could be an okay response if you believe that the government is aggressing on you by taxing you. It could be.
It could
However, no one's going around killing politicians over it, and not me or any libertarian I know has called for it.
No, in fact, most of the politicians I know that have been attacked recently are about lower taxes.
Right.
So, Kareem, I totally forgot my question.
Speaking of, hey Kareem, what do you think about Stormy Daniels and Michael Avenatti having their Twitter feud?
How did Kareem being on the show get you to think of that? I'm confused.
That was in the notes.
Oh, okay, good copy.
He read the notes.
Yeah, I read the notes. Can Kareem hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Oh, okay, yeah. So what are your thoughts on Stormy and Avenatti going at it, or have you heard of that?
I haven't really been following that, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I know last thing I've heard of Avenatti was he was accused of like sexual assault.
Yep.
Yeah. It wasn't sexual assault, was it?
I know it was an assault of some kind.
I think he punched his wife.
Oh.
I think he allegedly.
I
believe victims.
You got to believe the women.
Yeah. But weird, he's all for due process now.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so Avenatti.
Oh yeah, domestic abuse.
Yeah, he punched his wife. Allegedly.
And
then he's like, oh, well, we should really go with due process, which is weird because he wasn't all about that during Kavanaugh, but now he is. Which, both times I'm like, hey, let's go through due process. If there's evidence, there's evidence. And I feel as though there's probably evidence with him. And then
I was there, and I said, I can't believe that Michael Avenatti punched his wife. And this is 2018, whenever that happened?
2018, yep.
2018.
And then Stormy, Michael Avenatti said that he's not going to run for president in 2020.
Yep.
And then Stormy said that, and I believe this is correct, she came out and she said that the lawsuit that she did against President Trump was coerced upon her by Michael Avenatti. And they've been going back and forth on Twitter of her going, no, you made me do it, and him saying, no, I didn't.
And he's still representing her.
Yeah, still the lawyer.
And she's pulling a Trump where she's like working with someone and like trashing him on Twitter at the same time.
And he can't say anything because he's under attorney-client privilege.
No, I know. And that's it. So he's like, well, I'm trying my best here. And it's like, you can't really say a lot. I don't believe her. I think she's trying to get out of paying, what is it, $300 and something thousand?
Yeah, like $375,000 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't believe for a second. Because she's like, oh, yeah, I found out about it on Twitter. Well, then why did you go through with it? Like, why didn't you go on Twitter and say, hey, that's not true. I don't want to sue him. Like, why are you now saying that only after?
Right. For let's say it's $370,000, $370,000 because I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, it's 3 something.
That's gonna be like 370 movies she's gonna have to make. But she could probably knock those out in a week and a half if she.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like in the porn world, that's not really that big
right.
a deal.
I mean, she can knock that out week and a half, but still, that's
she's gonna come into 2019 strong.
Right. She'll finish out 2018 with no debt. So yeah, that's what's going on between them, and they're going back and forth, and it's anytime Avenatti gets into something on Twitter, that's just a great time.
He is almost as entertaining on Twitter as Trump is. Almost.
Accurate.
Almost.
Accurate.
Kareem, predictions. Trump gets reelected or not?
If Hillary goes through with running for president again, then definitely. I see a second term for Trump.
Well, okay, who do you think out of the Democrats could actually shove him? Because I can't think of many except for maybe Beto.
Yeah, I was going to say Biden.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Or Tulsi, but I don't think she's going to run.
No, I think it's going to be Biden, Beto, or Bernie.
But I don't think any of them can dethrone him.
I don't think they can dethrone him, but I think that's who it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
I think if Bernie decides to run, then he'll, make Trump have a run for his money. Yes, I know. I honestly do believe if Bernie was the presidential candidate for the Democrats, then he could have won the 2016 presidency.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like. So I think I remember when Hillary got the nomination, I'm like, I thought that she'd only win if Trump got the nomination. I'm like, pretty much any of these other front runners on the Republican side at this point could beat her because her own party hates her.
Right.
Whereas like everyone liked Bernie, and a lot of the people that voted for Trump in like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, they also liked Bernie. So no, I agree with you, Kareem. I think if he had gotten it, I would have given him like a 70-80% chance of winning.
Which is what everybody gave Hillary.
Which is roughly what everyone gave Hillary, except like for real. Because it's one thing to like say on a phone poll, yeah, I'm going to vote for Hillary. It's another thing to actually show up and do it. I think with Bernie, they would have. But at this point, I don't know if anyone can beat Trump. And I think Bernie now, the left has become so like obsessed with this crushing whiteness that I think if a old white guy gets the nomination, they're gonna a lot of like the intersectional feminist, the ones that Kareem was like freaking out in his video when Trump won. I don't think they're gonna show up. like I maybe I'm wrong. And if Biden does it, then I definitely don't think they'll show up. So, but yeah, I think Bernie would have beaten Trump, or at least would have gotten a lot closer than.
Yeah, Hillary. I don't know if Bernie would have won or not. Like, I've got questions on that because a lot of the old Democrats still socialism is a bad word, even if it's got Democratic in front of it.
That's true.
I don't think they would have voted for him.
Yeah, especially with the Brexit that's been going on. I've seen a sharp rise in more, I don't want to say prominent. I want to say people that have more exposure, that are African American and supporters of Trump on YouTube and Facebook. It's been really interesting. That and the walk away movement. So I think it's going to get worse for the Democrats the farther left they go. They think they're doing the right thing going farther left, but I don't think they're doing the right thing at all.
Yeah, I think honestly, so Trumpism is a lot of Trumpism, not necessarily the nationalist part, but the economic aspect of Trumpism is like the 1970s, 1980s Democrat Party platform repackaged as Trumpism.
Yeah.
So I think if they just went back to being left populists, they'd start winning again. But they hate white people and are white. Most of them are white, but they hate the idea of reaching out to, hundreds of millions of white people, and instead want to go down this like rabbit hole of while simultaneously telling everyone that they're white. So there's an article called what was it? Straight black men are the white people of black people. Like,
oh my god.
And it's exactly. And it's like they're doing it to Latinos. They're like, well, you're not with us, you're white. And I'm like, y'all aren't going to be happy until everyone except for like disabled black lesbian hermaphrodites with an STD are considered black. Like you're going to like filter down what's actually considered whatever. And Shaun White.
Apparently, you don't know. Hermaphrodites is now a derogatory term. You have to say intersectional.
What did I say?
Hermaphrodite.
It's intersectional.
Apparently, it's a hermaphrodite.
Is that a derogatory term?
Apparently, I just learned this not too long ago.
And I say intersexual instead?
Intersectional.
Oh.
You should say intersectional.
Because they have the intersection between a penis and a vagina. That's yeah, I don't like that term.
So
they're hermaphrodites.
A couple of weeks ago, one of the local Kava people that I know, a left-leaning person who I absolutely thought was a cool person, turns out he wasn't. He told me to. He said, "Fuck off, Mohammed." Guys, I'm so sorry. I swear, please forgive me. They said, "F."
He's quoting someone else.
He is quoting somebody else.
He said, "F off, Mohammed." You support horrible people that support egregious and horrible policies. So this was in response to an article I read. Well, it's not an article; it's an opinion piece on a site I've never seen before that was titled "White Women Support White Supremacy." So I read the article, and it was basically about. This was right after the midterms, obviously.
Right.
And it was the main thesis of the article is a lot of white women voted Republican, and Republican is apparently white supremacist to them. And this guy had like 2 weeks before that talk about how fascism's on the rise. And I'm like, dude, you don't know what fascism is, man. That is, the Republicans are not fascists, so I ended up removing him from Facebook because that's dumb, And and everything now is just fascist, white supremacist, far right, that boogie.
The far right, to the right of Hillary Clinton.
Like they're mad at everybody, man. White women, blacks, minorities that are right wing. I actually think, honest to God, I think the reason I get a lot of hate from people on the left is because some people on Facebook like what I say, and I'm a minority.
Yeah, that is 100% accurate.
Yeah, and that's kind of sad.
Kareem, you're kind of in the exact same situation as this moron. So you're obviously a minority, if anybody couldn't guess by his name, but you're also on the right. You're probably further right than I am.
No.
You know, yeah, no, I would consider myself a traditional conservative.
Okay. But do you get a lot of now? How I know how open you are about your politics on social media. Are you that open just like in your day-to-day life?
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
Especially not at my job.
Yeah.
You know, I try to keep my political views away from my professional life.
Okay.
Right. But if I'm amongst friends, then I'm just as vocal as I am on Facebook.
Right. And that's like so. But your friends, so most of your friends have similar beliefs to you, or not so much?
For the most part, yes.
Man, are you hitting your bong right now?
What?
Are you hitting your bong right now?
Shisha.
Okay.
I'm hitting my shisha.
I was like, man. All right, cool. I just kept hearing, I was like, what is that noise? Why do I know that noise? Oh. Okay. Sorry. Please continue.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but they tend to be more libertarian, right?
Okay.
Well, actually, no. I would, if I were to affiliate myself with a political party, it'd be the Republican Liberty Caucus, for sure, hands down.
I am now, even though I am not a registered Republican, I am a member of them.
Yeah, I think they're, I think they're solid on where they stand. I mean, if anything, they're the closest to adherence of the Constitution than the main Republican establishment.
Oh, then the Republican, the people in charge of the GOP? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Which is why I don't think hey, I'm gonna go off topic a little bit if that's okay.
No, please go ahead.
That's fine.
We do it
my
often.
issue with the Libertarian Party is, although what they're trying to do is noble, I mean, let's be really honest, it's going to be so difficult to start from the ground up. I'm a wholehearted believer in reforming the Republican Party to, become more liberty-oriented by electing liberty-minded Republicans into office. And if they were to put that, the amount of effort they put into the Libertarian Party and the Republican Party, then we would see some significant change.
So here's my question on that, because I was once a constitutionalist, and I don't think the RLC was a thing at the time, but I would have aligned myself with the RLC if that had been when I was still a constitutionalist. The people I see in the Libertarian Party, first of all, there's more divergence in opinion within the Libertarian Party than any other party, because you have hardcore, like me, anarcho-capitalists, and then you've got, minarchists and constitutionalists and whatever, and then you've got hardcore anarcho-communists. So it's hard enough to get them to just agree themselves. I think the thing with the Libertarian Party and why a lot of them don't, there are a lot of people in the Libertarian Party, like an Austin Peterson, or like the people that are more libertarian constitutionalists, that would fit very well within the RLC. But a lot of the people in the Libertarian Party, I don't think there's really a place for them in the Republican Party. I know there's not any for me. If someone said, hey, would you like to join the GOP? And I'm like, yeah, I want to cut the government to 0%. I'm somewhere between, Ron Paul and, I don't know, the people in France right now. So am I a libertarian? Yeah. Would I fit in the RLC? I don't think I would, because so I think the Libertarian Party is for some of us rejects that are not going to fit within even what would be considered the extreme of the Republican Party. And also a lot of libertarians, they don't actually care about winning elections. They want to use that as a platform to talk to people about liberty. So I think it's different goals.
Right.
I think the RLC is really pushing hard to change the Republican Party to be at least somewhat more libertarian. Whereas the Libertarian Party is we want everyone to be somewhere between an anarchist and like a minarchist.
What I was going to say is you definitely would be welcome in the RLC. The only thing that would matter is if you're considering joining the RLC, that means you believe in using the political process, you know? And I'm just as ANCAP as you. I just believe in using the political process. So yeah, somebody with our beliefs could be okay joining the RLC. You could be an ANCAP. You just have to believe in using the political process.
I know. I'm not sure if that's true.
No,
I'm just
what?
So like for example,
I'm in the RLC, man.
No, I know you are, and I know you are, and I'm just trying to picture myself like having a conversation about the police with even like a Justin Amash or a
Thomas Massey.
Thomas Massey. I do this with the hair. Yeah, and I don't know.
I will tell you, if you go to a regular RLC meeting of some kind, dude, a lot of people would fit right in the LP. They're just smart and are joining the RLC. No offense.
So I had the executive director of the RLC on not too long ago on the Writer's Block, and he and I knew each other. We met each other in the LP.
Matt?
No.
Who's the executive director?
Snicker.
Oh.
Yeah. Matt Nye is the national chair.
Oh, okay. I got those confused.
Yeah. And he and I were talking, and I said, so now you're in the Republican Party. You're in the Republican Liberty Caucus, which is part of the Republican Party, and you're attempting to change it from the inside and getting people from the LP to come over because you feel as though they'd be good fits. And he's like, right, trying to grow Liberty from the inside of the... And I said, okay, now when we were in the LP together, you told me that was a dumb argument. What's changed? And he said, oh yeah, back when I was in the LP, I would have punched somebody for saying that because which doesn't make sense for the libertarian non-aggression principle thing. But he was saying that when he was, we were always saying when we were in the LP, if, you can't change a party from the inside. It's better to build a different party.
Right. That's their argument, is that you can't change a big Leviathan like that from the inside. Right. You have to make something brand new.
But what Alex Snicker was saying was the executive director of the RLC.
Right.
What's his title?
What he was saying.
Copyrights by Cohen.
2018. But yeah, what he was saying is that after years of attempting to do that and years of trying to do that and all of the setbacks that you're going to get, especially anybody who watches / listens has probably heard about the LP here in Florida. And there's lots of setbacks that we had to deal with.
Right.
And so
some people trying to change the LP from the inside.
Yeah. Some people were, exactly. Some people were just attempting to change the LP from the inside. And he figured that it was, not only was it easier to do it from the RLC, where he could actually attempt to make changes from the inside, but because he was a member of an actual party, he could get the meetings with people in order to try to change their minds. So when he went up to Tallahassee or to DC to talk to legislators, he could get in the door because at least he was registered with their party.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
Here's my question for Kareem and Mohammed. When you guys both run for office, and I, by the way, will be your spokesperson toward the Israel lobby. So when that, I've already appointed myself to that. When that happens, and for example,
seriously,
right? Yes, exactly. When that happens, and so for example, like we just saw that the deficit is at an all-time high for the first. It's the highest it's been in 8 years or something like that. How do you? Because you sort of, as a Republican, like Mohammed was saying, you have to sort of be on the Trump train, at least for now. How do you square the Trump train with saying well, I'm on the Trump train, but I'm against that? Or is it just that simple that you're I support President Trump, I just don't support this specific thing?
I think it's that simple. That's just from my presence in the Trump rally and the DeSantis rally here. that people I've talked to, they were like, I understand what you're saying, and I respect that you're honest about what you're saying.
Right.
And then they were happy with me and talked to me the rest of the rally, saying, hey, I don't like this about that, this. So I personally think it's that simple. I don't know about Kareem.
I think it all boils down to rhetoric, right? How you go about disagreeing with Trump.
Right.
Instead of for example, cutting off foreign aid, whether it's to Israel or Egypt or fucking Pakistan, I don't know why the fuck they're getting all this money.
He didn't mention Israel because Spike's on the show.
No, he mentioned Israel.
I missed it.
Israel.
I was going to say that was the first one he said.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, no, cut foreign aid to Israel right now. I cut it all. Anyway, go ahead, sorry.
So, no problem. So instead of, saying something like we need to cut, foreign aid to Israel, I would probably approach, that argument by saying we should cut foreign aid to all. Instead of sending billions of dollars of tax dollars to other countries, how about we invest that money back into our own citizens, right?
Or not take it from them in the first place.
The welfare state, but we need to be realistic here. A lot of people were like, yeah, well, Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid, whatever. Turn the argument into your favor. Basically saying, instead of sending like $4 billion to Israel every year, how about we take that $4 billion and reinvest it back into, Americans, the vets, the homeless vets, the homeless, give them a reason to support, your perspective rather than saying, I don't want to support Israel because that just comes off as anti-Semitic.
Right.
Of course.
I think I credit that line of thought to Dale Carnegie. See things from people's perspective, but offer solutions to where they won't feel attacked in a way.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's the last two people on my show. One is with Americans for Prosperity, and the other one is a messaging expert that works with libertarian candidates. Both said the same thing that you're saying now, which is essentially like you can't attack people's beliefs right off the bat. You can't attack you have to be careful when you're going after people's beliefs, because they're very easy for them to think you're attacking their beliefs, as opposed to saying, hey, look, this is my concern and why I think we should be doing this instead. So it is a messaging thing. And you're still going to get, like, if you came on and on a platform of saying, I want to cut all foreign aid, the Israel people are going to come after you. The global hunger people are going to come after you. The UN people you're going to have all those lobbies come after you anyway, which is why you have to sound as reasonable as possible in talking about it, because they're already going to paint you as an anti-Semite and a hater of foreigners or whatever they try to paint you as. And so I think you just have to have a good message on how you do that. Yeah. And you got to have me as your Israel lobby person, because I'll go in and be like, no, he's good.
No, yeah. So Greg Gutfeld from the Red Eye Show on Fox. Yeah. I think he's more conservative than anything. Yeah. But I love the book he wrote called How to Be Right. It's a play on words, how to be right and right. And
picked up that
he makes the very same arguments on like how to debate people on the left about certain things like, the minimum wage or whatever, instead of talking about why a minimum wage is bad and getting into numbers and statistics, you talk about how a minimum wage keeps unskilled workers and the poor from being able to get these jobs.
Right.
And boom, you just made a good argument to somebody on the left that might actually understand and agree that could be a reason.
Yeah,
it's a great book. I've told so many people to read it. I think especially like libertarians need to read it, because even though it's not a political thing, it's just a how to debate thing, How
to debate better. Yeah.
I think a lot of people need to learn how to debate people like that. You even remember after Trump fired those missiles at Syria, a lot of hardcore Trump people came out and called him out on it.
I know.
It's okay. It's okay to do that.
Crazy. Yeah. And it was refreshing because Obama's most hardcore supporters, when he did stuff like that, immediately circled the wagons around him and defended, oh, well, he's got to, keep us safe or whatever garbage rhetoric they would use. I was very happy to see that, literally Trump's most hardcore with him from the beginning, populist, even a lot of the so-called alt-right support were like, this is not what we voted for. We didn't vote for you to do this neocon warmongering across the board, because General such and such told you to. We elected you specifically to reject this kind of stuff. And to Trump's credit, he's done less war than Obama has
so far. Yeah, and I've seen liberals try to use the NPC meme on Trump supporters, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, based off of the reaction to Syria alone, I wouldn't say that the NPC memes applies to MAGA people, because
not to the same level. No.
Not to the same level, at least off of that alone.
Yeah. No, there are definitely in any group NPCs that are just, they're definitely they're not thinking for themselves. They don't have a inner dialogue. But like I said, I was happy. It was literally people that I had been arguing with for a year who were like, yeah, this is wrong. And I'm like, yeah, this is wrong.
This is wrong.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
So Kareem, you made a post the other day about weird people waving to you in Facebook. So immediately I waved.
Yeah, I was so tempted to wave to you.
I did not get a response, which is kind of what I was expecting, but I was still hurt.
He said he wasn't going to, yeah.
I was still hurt.
I wanted to.
But instead you called. So, I mean, I guess that's a win.
Well, I expected some of my, some of the cool people to fuck with me and send me a wave on Facebook. I've gotten a couple. So.
Oh, of course, yeah. I was I was going to do it, and I'm like, no, because when I am on Facebook and I'm like, I hate when people do this, and everyone does it, I'm like, I hate it even more.
It's like Mohammed
and I now hate these people now too.
It's like Mohammed and trash doves.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Anytime Mohammed said something bad about trash doves, I knew that
everything.
Everything.
Me doing half of it. Yeah, no, that was great. I actually looked for more elaborate trash dove. There was a 3D one.
Yeah, I remember it
going around. I'm like, I'm not going to just do the same one over and over again. I'm going to take it up a notch each time. I found a YouTube video. I just I'm like, the more he hates it. When they started saying that the trash dove was a dog whistle for the alt-right, I knew that Muhammad started that hoax to get people to stop. For God's sake, please stop doing or Allah's sake, please stop doing the trash dove. So.
I saw this article a couple of days ago, but this GIF, you might have to look at the camera. I don't know how to explain it. Matt might be able to. This one.
On. Let me pull it. All right, I'm looking.
This one. I guess it's I read an article that is a white nationalist
everybody
dog
listening
whistle.
to us has no idea what you're talking about.
It's the gif of it's the yellow face, and it's kind of looking to the side, and there's a thinking hand over its.
Yeah, he has his hand under his mouth.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently that's what white nationalists and the alt-right use. I don't know why. I don't know where it came from, but that's a thing.
A lot of these hoaxes come from 4chan.
Yeah,
they're masters when it comes to spreading this type of shit. It's really fucking funny, honestly.
No, and it proves a point. These people are crazy. They're deranged.
I am in some groups
CNN,
that... Go ahead.
I think CNN quoted 4chan once, inadvertently.
I remember when the whole Kavanaugh thing was going down. 4chan put out a hoax that they were the ones that did the gang rape allegations against Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
And I wanted that one, and they did it specifically to trick Avenatti, and I wanted that one to be true so bad.
It looked like it was true because he locked down his Twitter for a better part of 2 days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy crap, they pranked him, but it wasn't. It was that Julie Swetnick.
Yeah, Julie Swetnick.
Julie Swetnick.
But yeah, I was really hoping that was true because I was like, if so, this is the greatest prank 4chan has ever pulled off.
It's great. It's almost it's as great. It's arguably greater than when they got Donald Trump elected. Right. But I still have people that are convinced that the OK symbol is white power. Supremacy.
Yeah, white power. And
I show them a link. The ADL of all people, the Anti-Defamation League. Am I defamation? Yeah, Defamation League. The ADL of all people put out a link saying this is a hoax. It came out from 4chan, and they even said it like this, the way that I'm saying it. And they showed the link, the original 4chan link, because it's all 4chan is public.
Yeah.
Everyone can look at this stuff. And it showed like exactly how they made the memes saying it and all of that. And someone will point to me and go, yeah, but look at this picture of this racist person doing it. And I'm like, okay, look at this picture of Hitler hugging someone. Like, look at this picture of
Hitler drank water.
Here's Hitler smiling and doing a thumbs up. And they're like, yeah, but it used to mean something before that. Exactly.
Now, is 4chan the ones that are doing that the thumbs up is in reference to the 14 words?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because, yeah, you got the 1 up and then you got the 4.
Oh, yeah, they also have this one where, like, if you hold up the peace sign, it's also supposed to mean something. I don't remember what it was.
Well, they tried to make it that the rainbow symbol that the LGBT people use, that was representing that every color should stay to themselves and not mix with the other colors. And then they tried to make that the trans. So there's a trans flag where it's like
the blue and the pink.
Yeah, the blue and the pink. They tried to make that where that meant that gender is immutable and tied to sex. And that they don't cross over or whatever. They've tried so many, but that OK symbol, man, they nailed it on the OK symbol. Yeah. There are people straight up right now that will fight you arguing that is a white power symbol.
They all work at Facebook. Every one of them works at Facebook, and they will kick you off.
Yeah, for doing this. So my dad's in his 80s. I watched this my whole life. That's an old This is what boomers and their parents did. This was the OK symbol. Everyone did the OK symbol.
Yep.
Hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. How you doing? I'm doing good. Like, they do this all day long to each other. And now, and then of course there's pictures of Michael Jackson doing it and Obama doing it, and none of that matters to these people. And all of them are white. And
it comes from I'm pretty certain it comes from sign language of. O is like O when you make an O is just a circle with the hand, and then the K is the thumb and the pointer finger are closed, but the other 3 fingers are up. I think it's just a mixture of those two. Okay, that's all it is.
No, it means you got to kill the mud people.
Right.
Obviously,
it means white power.
It means white power because that's a P. If I've ever seen one.
Yeah, if I've ever seen a P, it's definitely that.
This O that I'm making is absolutely a P.
Right.
So speaking of me doing things with my hands, Donald Trump.
Yeah, he holds his water bottle with 2 hands. Can you believe it?
Yeah, he does it like that. So he is happy. He was on Twitter. He was talking about the Mueller stuff, but if someone else wants to talk about it, they can. I think that whole thing, everyone's going to be severely disappointed when Mueller puts out a classified report that no one looks at. That doesn't really say much of anything.
It's not. Yeah, it's not going to. There is nothing there.
He's making a report. He's not making a case.
Which I just have to say, you and I started this show 2 years. Talking to Mohammed for those listening, Mohammed and I started this show 2 years ago this week, and. The Russia investigation has been going on.
Yes.
Roughly since we started this show.
Russia.
So much so that at one point we joked that we were going to change the name of the show to Russia and Fake News.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this second anniversary, welcome to the muddied waters of Russia.
And Fake News.
That's so true.
So he was on Twitter talking about how he's a tariff man. He loves the tariffs, and what he likes the most about the tariffs is all the money it brings in. And tariffs are a tax that we pay when we buy most things.
Yes.
So I'm just enjoying the irony, I hope everyone else is as well, of a Republican, erstwhile conservative president who is openly praising the fact that the federal government is bringing in lots of new tax revenue. Old Tariff Man.
And, like, Tariff Man, obviously being the worst of the Marvel characters.
Right.
He has the support of every Trumper out there, except for Mohammed.
I mean, I still wouldn't call myself a Trumper. I just
listen.
Don't.
We're gonna label you here.
Oh, fair enough.
Definitely. You have to be our resident Trumper.
Right.
Fair enough.
I'm the anarchist.
So, yeah, I'm the minarchist. He's the anarchist. You're the Trumper.
I'm the anarchist. But you're a Trumperkist.
Right. You're a Trumperkist.
Trumperkist.
Right. But they're all saying that tariffs aren't taxes, and I'm like, well, what do you think they are?
Right. What are they then? They're a fee that the government charges you against your will.
Right. They're a fee
for buying stuff.
Okay, technically they're a fee that the government charges somebody else, but where do you think they get that money? You think that's that's not coming out of their profit?
Yeah, I mean, technically the British could have said this isn't a tax, it's just a tariff. It's the same mechanism, it's paid at the port of call, right? So it's collected ultimately by the consumer or from the consumer. I mean, it's the consumer that pays all taxes. So that I'm just enjoying it because I'm enjoying. So there's two groups of people that support it. One are like the full-throated, like I support protectionism. We have to tariff people. This is 17D chess or whatever. and then there's the 38D chess people who are like, no, he actually doesn't want any tariffs. He's just doing this to negotiate people away from tariffs. I hope they're right. I don't think they're right, but I hope they're right.
I understand that thought process because it seemed like it's going to go that way so many times, but
then it doesn't.
And
it really does not.
And anytime you go anywhere, hang on, I don't want to misquote. I don't want to misquote anything, so I'm going to pull it up. Luckily, I know who posted this earlier today. Come on, phone, work faster. There it is. Anytime you go onto Twitter and you post, I am a tariff man, when people or countries come in to raid the great wealth of our nation, I want them to pay for the privilege of doing so. It will always be the best way to max out our economic power. We are right now taking in billions in tariffs. Make America rich again. Now, I don't know how Trump doesn't know this. I'm certain at least one, if not all of his economic advisors have been telling him the tariffs are being paid for by the people here. So you're not bringing wealth in. It's just being paid for by the people here.
I didn't realize he said that it was raiding.
Yeah.
When we
raiding
buy
American wealth.
We're raiding when I choose to buy something, that's actually a raid.
It's the stupid trade deficit argument, basically.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely the trade deficit argument, but I've never heard it referred to as a raid. Here's the thing. Here's why I like the entertainment value of Trump, is that there is no such thing as him not escalating, ever. And so the longer he's in office, the more it's going to escalate. And it's not even that the policy is necessarily going to escalate, but just what he says. So I am looking forward to roughly a year from now when Trump is saying that the Chinese are, butt raping us or something. Like I just, it's like, it's going to keep going up, and I'm here for it. I love the entertainment.
Yep.
Yes.
We're against butt rape.
We are against butt rape, especially after Chuck Schumer.
Did Chuck Schumer butt rape some? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I will never forgive Chuck Schumer for what he did to Matt's
bunghole.
Booty hole.
Yeah. Chuck Schumer fingered my booty hole, if you don't know.
Yeah, I was there, and everyone stood up and applauded. It was
They stood up and applauded for Spike being brave enough to say something about
To
it.
say that I could
Not for Chuck Schumer actually fingering my booty hole. They were
no, they applauded
they
me.
Were very,
let me rephrase. So I got up and said, "Hey, I can't believe Chuck Schumer's doing that to Matt's butt, and that's not okay." And everyone in the store got up and applauded.
Yep.
Or on the bus. Was it a bus?
It was
the bus store.
It was a bus. Yeah, it was a bus store.
Bus store.
Yeah, bus store.
At the old bus store.
Yep. Oh, real quick. I think did that cover everything we had written down?
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick. Chuck Grassley.
Okay.
Senator Chuck Grassley. He came out recently and he said,
I didn't know he was gay.
Chuck Schumer did.
I will cut your mic.
You know how it is with me on the show. You invited me. You knew it was going to happen.
I knew it was a mistake from the first moment.
Yeah.
But Chuck Grassley came out and he said that we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to pass criminal justice reform, and we need to do that instead of focusing on getting these judges appointed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the person that is holding all of it up, is, well, okay, it's two people. Two people are holding all of it up. Mitch McConnell, obviously.
I was going to say.
And Jeff Flake, or Falaki, or however you say it. Yeah.
Is it Falaki?
I don't know.
Wait, why is Mitch McConnell holding up the GOP prison reform, justice reform?
Because he wants to make sure that we get the justices passed before we put that bill through. But if we wait until the House switches, there's a good chance that it won't go through. So Grassley being what I like to consider more and more each day as a good person in Congress, he's saying, no, we need to get this passed, give it to the president so it goes on, and we don't need to worry about it anymore. And Jeff Flake and Mitch McConnell are actually holding back to be like, no, you have to do what we want first.
Well, because Jeff Flake wants to hold everything up until they pass his Protect Mueller bill, right? Mm-hmm. Isn't that his thing? That he wants a law before he resigns that says that the president can't, which I think is of questionable constitutional authority, but it says that the president specifically can't fire Mueller or something like that.
He can't fire Mueller without just cause.
Because God knows that you can't come up with just cause. Anyway, so he wants his bogus legacy bill passed. Now that'll never happen. But I don't get, so the prison reform bill, when the new House is convened, might not happen if it wasn't passed already. But the justices can be passed. They don't need the House, right?
They don't need the House. Senate. No, that's just the Senate Judiciary Committee and then the Senate. So they don't need the House for it.
So if anything, just hold off on the justices, because then Flake will be gone,
right?
And Sass will be gone, and it'll be 53 Trumpers for the most part, right? Like, I mean,
more or less, yeah.
And Mike Lee, but Mike Lee would support all that stuff. So I don't.
Yeah, you're gonna have Mike Lee. You're gonna have Rand Paul. You're gonna have
51 Trumpers.
Yeah. Which is just enough to pass people nowadays.
All of that is just enough to pass. McCain's dead. Like, it's really a Trump-friendly Senate that's about to come up.
Is it true that Rand Paul is not running because he truly believes in term limits?
That is the rumor, yes.
Is it really?
That'd be retarded. He's a retard.
That would not be.
It's part of the.
Would not be smart.
No, he'd be retarded. Honestly, I think he'd be doing the Liberty Movement a huge disservice.
I think that he was standing next to his conviction.
Fuck that.
His retarded conviction.
I think term limits are retarded, and we've already talked about this twice, probably.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of term limits. Well, I'm not a fan of the government, but
obviously, yeah.
Yeah, term limits are a tacit acknowledgement that voters make stupid choices.
Right.
So if you're going to say we need term limits, then that's the same argument I used to say that democracy is the god that failed, and we need to have a completely private anarcho-capitalist society.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I have not thought of that. That's a very very good argument. Holy crap!
So I now support term limits now that I just said that.
On the last episode of the Writer's Block, I had Nick Tumbelides from U.S. Term Limits. Yeah, from U.S. Term Limits, and it was a good conversation.
Is he an anarcho-capitalist?
Oh no, I didn't ask. You know, he supports term limits.
If I was still a part of the show, he would not have been welcome on this show. I'm joking. Really? I'm joking.
I was like, well, it was my show, so you didn't have a choice.
Your show, yeah. True. Never mind.
It was my show, so you had zero say.
Yeah, you commie.
Do we still have? Is Kareem still here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Kareem, term limits. Thoughts, please.
You know, I'm gonna have to say that I don't support term limits.
Okay.
Arabs are so smart. I'm telling you.
Smart guy.
It's just, I mean, like, you know, I've thought about it a lot, and I don't think much gets accomplished with term limits.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, why?
Well, I mean, you know, you elect someone in the office, and you know they push for, you know, the policies that that you support, only to have someone take his place after a certain number of years, and this reverses that. Like it's like one step forward and one step back, where it's stationary. Nothing is getting done, at least for the long term. You know what I mean?
I will say
no, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so I do agree with that nothing's getting done, but then on the opposite side of that coin, nothing's getting done.
Well, and I have to say that's a good thing that nothing gets done.
Right.
But I think the best argument from a libertarian point of view, like a minarchist point of view, is the will of the people should be able to vote for who they want. It doesn't matter. Nobody should have choice over what people who want to vote for.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue
it's so arbitrary.
You could argue that it's a violation of. I mean, this would be a little bit of a reach, but in a way it's a violation of free speech and free association.
It is.
Right?
No,
so
it is.
If someone is otherwise eligible for something, they meet the age requirement or whatever, and they go, "I want to continue doing this," and I go, "Well, I want to vote for you," and then they go, "No."
Yeah.
What's the mechanism for, let's say we all vote for that guy anyway.
Yeah.
So what? You're going to, like, obviously you're not going to put us in jail, but you are going to use violence or threats of violence to stop that person from going to the office. I'd like to talk to a hardcore, like I know a lot of people that are pro term limits just because they're like, throw the bums out. They don't have like a philosophical underpinning for it. I'd love to talk to like a Tumbelidis or someone like that who like, why? And then turn them into an anarcho-capitalist because they're right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so close.
I will let you know he would be more than happy to come on your show.
Yeah, I would like to do that because I really like. I'm gonna reach out to him after this because I want to ask him about that and have a show where I then like and say like so then voters. So we shouldn't be voting for some. Like I really like if I can red pill someone. Maybe he'll red pill me. Maybe I'll be a Republican who's in favor of term limits.
So yeah, you know, Tho Bishop, who works for the Mises Institute, right. I've asked him about this, and you know, he said that because he was a staffer, I think, for Ron, and yeah, and staffers on the Hill don't change. Interns, yeah, nobody cares about interns.
Right.
Staffers don't change. These are the people that actually write the bills and get to talking with other staffers and, you know, blah, 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 blah. So you can change the Republican, you know, like Alexandria Cortez, like she actually has people under her that know what they're doing, for example. You know, they know.
Which is good because she has no clue.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah, so you can change the person, but the staffers don't change. But you can then go with the argument of changing the staffers, but they have experience. And that then also applies to congressmen that have been in for a while or senators. Like, you have experience, and it takes experience on the Hill to do Hill things. So when are you going to decide that somebody has had enough experience to continue doing the job for a little bit more or not? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
No, I absolutely do. So I'm trying to picture a scenario in which everyone that's in office is a new person every, let's say, 6 years, 8 years, whatever.
Right.
Like, you could conceivably end up in a situation where no one there actually knows what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
right, but then you would have the staffers in there who did know what's going on. So it would really be the staffers that would be the ones changing writing everything.
Yeah.
Which means that there's not really a material change to begin with.
Exactly. Right. There's a lot of like House committee rules and stuff that have to be followed, and things that these people know.
Parliamentary stuff, yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to writing a bill, these staffers know what the rest of their party or what the other party might agree to. So, yeah, if nobody knows what they're going on, this person's just not going to get anything done ever. Which is, again, it's a good thing,
but... not bad.
Yeah,
not a bad thing.
But still, that's why I just focus on the freedom argument, the freedom to choose argument.
Has anyone talked about the idea of just arbitrarily telling people that they can't be in office anymore? Like, just maybe like a lottery system, and the police come out and just drag them from their seat? Because I'd watch that.
Yeah.
I mean, that would definitely increase the viewership of C-SPAN.
That would make C-SPAN the hottest TV network on cable.
You just never know when the guys in black are going to come in and just rip.
Yeah, and it's not the same time either, right?
Yeah.
So it's like completely arbitrary, and they just come in, like, full like in riot gear, and just come and yank and it'll be especially funny when it's like an old lady or something,
right.
And
Nancy Pelosi just getting ripped out of the
just
speaker.
Knocking, what's her name? Barbara, is it Lee?
I mean, there is a Barbara Lee.
That's not her name.
Comstock?
Anyway, whatever.
No?
Any of them.
Because of what we're talking about. Some people were like, no, we shouldn't let Alexandria Cortez be the Speaker of the House. I'm like, please let her be the Speaker of the House.
Oh, God, that would be amazing.
I would vote for whoever promised to do that.
Yes. And the other thing is, too, when like Trump was trolling by saying he would get the Republicans to vote for Nancy Pelosi.
Yes.
I was like, okay, does he want her in because he thinks she'd be ineffective and bad, or does he want the Democrats to hate her? It's probably the second one.
I think it's all of that.
I just thought it was hilarious.
It's probably a mixture of both.
Yeah, I just thought that was absolutely funny. Like, that's the biggest troll ever.
Oh, we got a call.
Oh,
we got a call.
Hello?
Hey, Kareem, I'm going to have to hang up on you real quick.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for calling in. Thank you for calling the Muddied Waters of Freedom. This is Matt speaking. How may I help you? Hello?
Yes.
Welcome to the Muddied Waters of Freedom.
It's the Muddied Waters of Freedom.
We can't hear you. I don't know who it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you are speaking, we can't hear you.
We cannot hear you. Please call back.
Please fix your computer.
Yep.
Please fix your device and call.
This is a very interesting conversation. You have to be a part of it. Come back.
I can't wait until you call us back.
All right.
Yeah, no, I think he actively was like, now I feel bad because we hung up on Kareem. But
Kareem was on the show for 50 minutes, so I mean, he was like a co-host today.
That's true. This was a half Muslim Muddied Waters of Freedom.
That's right.
On Hanukkah.
True that.
On Hanukkah.
This was a good solid 58% Semite show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me being 8% of that.
Yeah.
Right. So
freaking Ashkenazis.
I know, right? I mean, Nazi is in there, right? You know what I'm saying?
All right. I think that's the same person.
It is. Thank you for calling the Muddied Waters of Freedom.
Yes. What's the number?
No,
don't say the number.
It's an 812 area code.
Is that local to your area?
No.
612?
Was that 612?
Yeah.
612. What is that?
We're gonna try to figure out who it is.
We're gonna find
and then
you.
message them on Facebook.
Oh, Minnesota.
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 All right.
Yes.
Come on, Minnesota.
Yes, Minnesota.
All right, are you there, Minnesota?
Come on, Minnesota.
Come on, Minnesota.
Minnesota. Maybe they can't hear us either. But
Minnesota.
Come on, Minnesota. You there?
Snake Eyes, Minnesota.
We might just have to reject every other call. 612, yeah, 612.
Minnesota.
Are you there, Minnesota? I can't.
Who do I know from Minnesota?
We cannot hear you.
Minnesota, put in the comments who you are. Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, person from the traitor state that didn't vote for Reagan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dubious. Hey, Mondale voter. hit us the old
oh, yeah, we did talk about this on the midterms, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We talked about it. So tell us why you voted for Mondale in the comments, and then we'll let your audio work.
I'm 95% certain that whoever is calling is not old enough to have voted for Mondale.
I choose to believe, Matt. I choose to be a believer in my Mondale theory. I don't really have a Mondale theory.
Right.
Nancy Pelosi. I think Donald Trump, smartly so, wants Nancy Pelosi to be the face of the Democratic Party, as do I.
Oh yeah.
And in fact, if Nancy Pelosi and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, if they become the, I guess, co-chairs of the party, that will be the most entertaining outcome. And the Republicans will also be very happy with the outcome as well.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. Why wouldn't
Oh,
they
it's Jacob LaBelle.
Oh, Jacob.
Jacob LaBelle.
It is Jacob?
We can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Jacob.
Is he commenting on the video?
He's commenting on it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's him.
I looked that person up. I don't think him and I are friends, but you guys know him?
Yeah. He watches. He's like pretty much on he watches every episode.
He watches every episode.
Buy a T-shirt, Jacob.
Yeah, he's a real one.
Yeah, he's a real one.
Jacob's one of the real ones.
I believe that Jacob watched our entire midterm special.
Yeah, he said I'm trying. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. Why
ask him if he's on his phone or on his computer, I guess.
Yeah, are you trying on your phone? He said, haha. Are you trying? Is on your phone or computer?
I'm gonna assume computer. I don't know why I asked that.
I'm gonna assume.
Yeah, because you would think the phone would work.
Yeah, there's only one option for a phone.
Right.
Yeah.
But, well, if Jacob, hopefully if you can get it to work, we'd love to have you come on.
He's still on the line, so we can keep it running, right? Until somebody else calls.
Oh well.
Oh, is he still on the line?
Yeah, we should probably end that.
Okay, I guess we're gonna end it.
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll end it. But yeah, hopefully you can get it working. So yeah, we talked about everything, and storm terrorists. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean we went through.
Oh no, we didn't. No, we didn't.
We didn't.
We did not. Speaking of New Mexico.
Oh,
New Mexico.
How did we forget New Mexico?
Because we talked about it. But
because they're a different country.
Well, yeah, because we don't talk about different countries. Speaking of a different country, when we were talking about France earlier, New Mexico. Guys, a guy and I guess his old lady, they went to D.C. and they went to get a
marriage license.
Jacob, if you didn't get it to work,
he's gone. Yeah, they went to old D.C.
They went to old Washington District of Columbia, and they went to get a marriage license.
The capital of America.
Capital of America. They have a New Mexico road there because there's a road for every state.
There is. Yeah. Multiple people from New Mexico legislate there.
On a regular basis. And New Mexico been a state for 106 years. And before World War II. New Mexico as a U.S. state is older than the Federal Reserve by a year. And this guy, yes.
Oh, this time's an unknown caller.
New Mexico.
Okay, we.
And hello.
Turn down your.
If you can
turn down the
if
show.
you can turn down your
yeah,
radio.
Sorry. The Federal Reserve.
Because we can hear ourselves.
There.
Yep. Go ahead.
There you are. Is this Jacob?
It is Jacob.
Jacob.
Hey.
We got to figure it out.
I'm like 20 seconds behind you on Facebook.
So what was the problem?
No, I was just wondering if we could go back to the France issue, because as a Franco-American, I'm very concerned.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Spike, I saw you 10 seconds ago. That's weird. Okay, so as a Franco-American, my family actually landed here in like the mid-1600s in the Three Rivers area in Quebec, Canada, and then made their way into whatever freedom is. Like, we got into canoes and paddled across the lake, and we became Minnesotans.
Nice.
So, no, I'm concerned about my French cousins or whatnot, and I'm wondering, like, is this truly like a total French regicide situation like we had before in the, I believe, what was that, like the early 1700s, mid 1700s?
It was just after the American Revolution, so yeah, late 1700s, I think.
Early 18s, late 17.
Yeah.
Or are the French people actually battling for more socialism? I don't know.
So, okay. How would they be battling for more socialism?
Well, one argument I heard was that some of them are saying, don't tax us, tax the rich more. Right? So, instead of a carbon tax, because a carbon tax, everyone pays. Whereas they're saying, tax the rich more. But I don't think that was everyone. I think it's a mix of people. Everyone's pissed off, but there's different reasons that people are pissed off.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I so Jacob, and it's interesting because the not Minnesota, but my dad's mother's side of the family came in to the U.S. through Quebec, but they just like walked into Maine basically, and then went to Massachusetts. So that's interesting, and it was like 200 years after yours did. But so we're fellow Quebec migrants or whatever.
Quebecois.
Quebecois, and in fact, there's actually some Gaffins still in Quebec, Jews, of course. And
Montreal beef.
What's that?
Montreal beef. It's a poutine thing.
Yes, exactly. And so I mean, I honestly don't know how to answer that. I'm sure some want more socialism. I mean, like the French Revolution was one of, I mean, it was truly like, I think it was necessary, but it was also, it was not this like, we want, it was less about freedom and more about like, we want our share of this stuff. So it had a much more, I mean, this was before Marxism, but it had that kind of a pre-Marxist bent, whereas like the American version was like, leave us the hell alone. And so I think any French anything is going to have more of a statist bent to it than an American equivalent would be, just because our mindsets are different on that subject. Although right now they're giving us a run for our money. So I honestly don't know how to answer that. I think it's going to depend on how it plays out. I'm interested to see what happens 6 months from now, because supposedly this carbon tax is just being suspended for 6 months with the idea that they're going to bring it back in 6 months. So I'm interested to see 6 months from now, are people going to go and set stuff on fire again? Are they actually going to implement the tax, or is this delay it till the 5th of never? Or, so it's very interesting to see. But I mean, I don't want to see people get hurt. I also don't like seeing people get victimized. So if there's a level of, for lack of a better word, violence that causes less people to be victimized, that might be what's necessary. But, who knows?
Yeah, it's this whole idea about the non-aggression principle. I mean, who's aggressing on who? And who's guilty and who's not, and is everybody guilty, and should everybody get aggressed upon?
Well, I mean, the non-aggression principle says that you won't aggress on somebody else, but it doesn't say anything about if somebody aggresses on you, about you retaliating.
Right.
So,
so go ahead.
So by looking at this carbon tax as the government aggressing upon you, you are then technically within your rights to aggress back.
And that's what I was saying earlier.
Right.
And you said it a lot better.
Well, you did say
good
it.
point. Good points.
But yeah,
it's and the thing is, in a system of forced association, especially like a socialist, essentially not necessarily a fully socialist country, but a much further along to socialism than we are a country like France, the lines are blurred because everyone's aggressing on everyone in to some extent, because everyone's getting robbed and then living off the state to whatever level they're living off the state. But I think this is a pretty clear-cut one of they're trying to rob them more, and their response is to say, no, screw you, and in fact, we're going to take your guns and we're going to stab you with our baguettes, and we're going to, you know.
What's funny is that's so quite literal right now, and that's just perfect.
Well, you know,
we're gonna stab you with our baguettes. Yeah. The guy said it. The guy demonstrated that.
And funny enough, too, us talking about France and what you just said, Spike. Frederick Bastiat talks about that in the law. How right now everybody's aggressing on everybody. What?
It's called Lole.
I don't speak surrender.
I'm being a purist.
I don't speak surrender.
I'm
kidding, dude.
Which apparently the French government only knows how to surrender since they did it to their people.
Shots fired.
Now I want to say this because no, I don't want to say that. But I do not want to say that actually. But here's what I do want to say. Matt said a thing earlier about and so did Mohammed, about that if you're being aggressed against that and you fight back, you're defending yourself. And there are some logical conclusions that you could take from that. And I'll leave it at that.
Well,
yep.
I think the logical conclusion is very obvious. Like, I've actually thought about this over the last 2 years because I see a lot of weirdo libertarians, you know, that always joke about like shooting at the government, and I'm like, why haven't you done it yet? And you know, and I'm just like, well, you know, the logical conclusion is what it is, you know, fighting the government itself. But it's up to the individuals to decide when enough is enough, and that they actually go ahead and fight the government. So we are being aggressed upon, yes. But are we fighting the government right now? No one's really doing that because they don't think that this is bad enough to fight against the government. That's my piece.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, when is it actually bad enough to aggress upon?
It's up to you to decide.
Aggressor?
It's up to you to decide. I think all government action is aggression. So which means you have the ability to fight back. But if you and I right now haven't done anything about it, then right now we don't think it's bad enough. That's my point of view on it.
Yeah, it's a very subjective thing, right?
Yes.
And we're all being affected differently.
Yes.
So there are some people right now who are literally in cages because a cop doesn't like them.
Yes.
Right? And that's one extreme. There are people that are dead because a cop doesn't like them. And then there's like me who,
taxes,
you know, who has relatively speaking, has not, you know, has largely been spared a lot of the worst things that a lot of other people have. So there's that, and then there's just personal tolerance. Some people will tolerate this much, and some people will tolerate a lot more.
Yeah.
So it really is a question of like, it's not a question of whether it's legitimate or not. It's legitimate.
Exactly.
It's a question of is it? Have you reached your boiling point, and is it worth it? And what's it gonna? And then there's also the question of what are you gonna replace it with? So if I could snap my fingers and all cops were gone and all politicians were gone, but everyone still thought the same way they did, within a matter of days there'd be a new thing that's just like it replacing it.
And that's what happened in Somalia, which is
exactly
yes, exactly.
That's what happened here.
Yes.
It's what happens everywhere.
Right.
You have a violent revolution, and then and they come in and go, aha, now we're the ones with the magic piece of paper. And they do the same thing that the people were doing before them. So, I mean...
I've got the magic napkin today, and this one has all the laws on it.
My napkin is better.
And
I beat the old
that point,
dirty napkin.
I think that Mo and I are probably a little bit more on the same page. We're a little bit more incrementalist.
Yes.
And I trust me, I love my ANCAP friends. They always make fun of me, and it's always hilarious. But
are you an ANCAP?
I actually am. I'm a very min archist.
Okay. Continue.
Microkist.
Microkist.
Microkist. Yeah, as Paul Garden would call us, a microstatist, probably.
Oh,
yes,
God.
That is what Paul Gordon would call you.
That sounds like what he would say.
That is exactly what Paul Gordon would call you, a microstatist.
Yeah. But, I really rally around guys like Austin Peterson, Rand Paul, Massey, maybe even in a gross way like Cruz and whatnot.
He has his moments.
Cruz is still, would be, aside from everybody else they just mentioned, Cruz is a better step than every other Republican in my book.
I mean, right. But I mean, that's like... I wish I knew chemistry a little bit better, because then I would be like, yeah, I mean, but mercury is a better step than arsenic.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, can I bring this up?
Well, we're still on this topic.
Okay, well, I'm just reminding you, I don't know if you agree to it or not.
No, yeah, we're fine.
Okay, continue with the arsenic.
So, yeah, so you're a microstatist.
Microstatist.
You're a microstatist who likes Cruz.
You want a micro amount of rape. That's what Paul Gordon would say also.
Right. You want
just the tip.
Just the tiniest.
Oh,
just
wait. Goodwin?
Goodwin.
What's his first name?
Who?
Paul Gordon.
Oh, I thought you said Goodwin. My bad.
No, Paul Gordon.
No, Paul Gordon.
Not even the tip, just the whole part.
Yeah, just the
I think that's the
aperture of the urethra.
Yeah, exactly. Just the because I think tip is subjective.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially
As to what the tip is, yeah.
Like 2 microns of contact.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, this is an interesting conversation we're having.
This is the weirdest conversation I think we've had on here.
Which is saying something.
Yeah.
We've had some weird. I don't think this is the weirdest conversation. It's the most penis heavy one.
It is definitely the most penis heavy.
It is definitely
the
most. No, it's okay. It's good. I mean, you gotta, penises are natural. It's natural. So
a lot of men have them.
A good number of men have penises.
That's right.
And I don't care who that offends.
A few men have penises.
Right.
Yes, a few of them have penises, and I don't care what the PC Nazis say about that.
So, Jacob.
Excuse me?
We have been on the air for 2 years. Just over 2 years. When did you start listening?
It was probably a month or two ago.
Okay.
I like I said, I'm a staunch microstatist, and I've been following people like I don't think you've probably ever heard of him, but where I started was a guy named David Seaman.
David Seaman?
Really?
Yeah, it was on Google Plus.
Okay.
A few years ago.
Old David Seaman.
Go ahead.
Old David Seaman.
Semen, yeah, like the ejaculate.
Right. Okay.
Oh, really? Spelled like semen?
What's that?
Like spelled SEMEN?
Yeah, just like that.
Wow. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, so I was pretty much a lifelong, well, not lifelong, but very much raised up in kind of a leftist, libertarian family. My dad's a rightist socialist, which is weird.
A rightist socialist.
Yes, basically Nazi.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which, yes, I knew where that was going.
Yeah. All right, got it.
So I started expanding my mind. I've got a friend that was on the Bundy Ranch. Very anti-government, very voluntarist, and protectionist. He's a protector of individual rights and family rights, whatnot.
Right.
And it just all snowballed. Like, honestly, Obama was a warmongering piece of shit, just like George W.
Right.
And I found my way to a more logical thing. I started following people like August Peterson, Ron Paul, Rand Paul. I mean, it's pretty much the stereotypical situation.
Well, that's good. Well, we're glad that you're not a rightist socialist.
Yeah, definitely. If you were a rightist socialist, you'd probably be a part of the Libertarian Party of Florida.
Well, you haven't met the LP of Minnesota yet.
Oh God.
Also fair. Also fair.
Are they like so I know the LP of Michigan, which is like very heavy with communists. Is that how the Minnesota one is as well?
Well, the problem with Minnesota is that we're a very in the populated centers we're very much liberal leaning. Well, not even very much, but like extremely left leaning.
Right.
To the point where we have to take all assets from all people almost. Mm-hmm. In the surrounding areas, we're very much like the upper peninsula of Michigan or Wisconsin,
right?
Where it's more individualism, more voluntarism, more you are what you do, you are who you are.
That's racist. I am who I want to be.
Yeah, Jacob.
Jeez, Jacob.
Yeah, we are what I feel like at right now.
Did you hear about the guy that lost the lawsuit?
Which one?
He was 69 and he was suing to be 49.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got the same lawsuit going. I'm 39 and I'm trying to petition to be 19 again.
It's a good call. When I turn 39, I may do the same thing.
Yeah, when I turn 37, which is like like a long time.
It's so far away.
Whenever that happens, it'll be a long time ago. Who even knows how long?
I remember Australia. There was a politician that a male that says he was a female, so he can talk about this stuff, and they attacked him over it.
Yeah, but Australia doesn't exist.
Yeah, I was going to say Australia is not real.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right.
So that doesn't.
It's like New Mexico.
If you look
they're basically New Zealanders and South Africans pretending
to be British,
pretending to be Australian. It's a conspiracy because that's actually, if you look at the Earth disk, that's actually where the turtle goes.
Right. That's where the turtle head pokes out.
That's where the turtle head pokes out. So it's Australia.
Right.
Oh, but you can't go there because there's a bunch of animals that will kill you. And it's hot.
Well, they're sea monsters.
That also.
Right. But they say like, oh, all the animals in Australia will kill you. Look at what they did to Steve Irwin. Steve Irwin is a false flag.
Where did Steve Irwin actually get killed? Was that in the South?
It was in the water.
South Asian Sea?
It was in the water because Australia doesn't exist.
Right.
Oh, right. Well,
I saw the picture, and that girl was there on her phone.
Yeah, I don't know where he was when he got killed. I just know that a manta ray or stingray or whatever it was shot him in the heart.
Rafael Cruz.
Yeah.
Rafael Cruz shot him like JFK.
Steve Irwin. Of course. I mean, listen. The liberals wanted to get control over the fisheries, and how else do you do that but by having Rafael Cruz kill Steve Irwin? And that simultaneously keeps the myth going that Australia is an actual place.
Yeah, I mean, that's retarded.
It's false flag. False flag. Everyone knows that. It's the Jews. So,
but what happens?
But it's the bad Jews. It's the bad Jews.
Yeah. No, it's not the good Jews. Yeah, no, it's not the good Jews.
It's the atheist Jews.
What happens? We're roasting these flat earthers, but when you suddenly get a sack thrown over your head and you hear one of them say, "Take him to the edge."
Take him to the edge. Yes, exactly. And the thing is, there's actually a big wall there. Go ahead.
Are we talking about Saudi Arabia?
Well, no. I don't know. I feel like flat earthers are mostly outside of the Middle East. They're in the West. These are first world problems.
Aren't there so I remember hearing that there was a fatwa, or not, I don't know if it's a fatwa, but like a cleric in, I want to say it was Saudi Arabia, was saying that like NASA was a lie from the devil or something. Do like the, I guess, Wahhabists or whatever, do they believe that the earth is flat? Or is that
no. That's rare. No, okay. That's just some guy. Yeah, it's just some guy.
Okay, that's just that guy?
Because in the Quran, most Muslims know that in the Quran, God's in the Quran says that the earth is a ball,
Oh. So it's just that guy's crazy.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And obviously, you can argue that came from like Greek thought or something, but regardless,
they knew it, right?
Yes.
Like, yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, regardless, they knew. Yeah, flat Earth is one of those things that I desperately want to be right. I know it's not, but because the people who make the point of like arguing that the Earth isn't flat are the most smug people on Earth. Like, what a stupid thing to argue over and like punch down at some schmuck that's like, yeah, the Earth is flat. No, it's not. Let me present this evidence that the Earth isn't flat. Like, what a way. I want to look at the horizon and see that turtle's head come up and give me a wink. And because I'll be like,
I don't even need to see a wink. Like, if I see a turtle head pop up from the horizon, I'm going to go, oh, well, okay.
There's
Bulavanaka.
Bulavanaka.
That's what I say. Bulavanaka. And then I want to hear Neil deGrasse Tyson explain that one after his rape trial.
I was gonna say that's gonna be real hard from prison.
That's smug dick.
But I'm more of a Nordic type person, and it's not an ice wall. It's a serpent that surrounds the planet.
I'm fine with that.
You're a Nordic Jew.
Well, Muslim.
Yeah. Well,
like the 13th warrior.
I thought that was Spike.
Oh, no.
No. That was Muhammad. But if you think about it, a Muslim is
Jews,
sort of a Nordic Jew. In a roundabout way. You think about it.
So I don't want to rain on everybody's parade, but I do have to go soon, and you guys can keep the show on going.
Well,
yeah,
we're actually about to get cut off by Facebook in about a half an hour, so we may as well start wrapping it up. If you want to talk about that last thing that you had there.
Okay, well, so this thing just came up on my phone, and I was like, what?
It was called a phone call.
Yeah, no, it's not. New York City sets first of its kind minimum pay rate for Uber and Lyft drivers. On Tuesday, the city's Taxi and Limousine Commission voted on a minimum pay formula to protect ride-hailing driver. Yeah, we need protection.
What a protection!
From being underpaid by companies. Under the new policies, drivers will earn a minimum take-home wage of $17.22 per hour. That's the ride-hailing equivalent of $15 minimum wage, accounting for the fact that those drivers have to pay payroll taxes and do not receive paid time off, the TLC said. The move, which will go into effect in 30 days, is expected to raise the average driver's pay by $9,600 per year. That's a big chunk of change right there that Uber's going to have to pay for its New York City people. And I feel like Lyft and Uber might maybe in the future end up not offering their services in New York City.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of money.
No, so California.
Why they're doing it.
California is going through something like this right now,
Right.
where anybody that's a 1099 employee has to start getting paid minimum wage,
Which is insane.
So
what's the point of the 1099?
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
And it all started from an Uber driver that was suing because he wasn't making enough money.
Oh my God!
Well, then don't be an Uber driver.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. But what will
Worst Uber driver ever?
Yes,
Yeah, no,
1
exactly.
star.
Yeah, you suck, Uber driver. He probably only got 1 star.
Oh, this was your lawsuit? That's the reason that everybody pays more money now? 1 star.
Yeah, and
one star.
that kind of thing ends up affecting everybody else that is okay being an Uber driver.
Right. Because
Right, exactly.
now that they have to pay every Uber driver minimum wage, and now all 1099s across the board have to, but let's just focus on Uber. Now that all Uber drivers have to be paid minimum wage, that means that the price per Uber has to go up.
Absolutely.
Has to go up. There's no other way.
They're not going to support them off of the back of every other Uber driver. No, they're going to have to make the residents pay a little bit more.
Right.
So this regulation was introduced by the taxi people.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Jacob.
Oh, sorry.
Can we tie this back into France?
Yes.
I actually think, that's possible. Yeah.
If
when the cabbies were striking and being violent,
I remember when that happened.
Right.
But you were saying the cabbies, Spike. You were saying the cabbies pushed for this, right?
You just said it was the taxi.
Yes, and limousine commission.
Yeah. Well, they're the ones trying to kill Uber because it's hurting the taxis and limo people.
Yes.
So imagine if I'm your competition and I go, hey, I just introduced an awesome new rule to really help you out. Oh, by the way, it's going to make you not as affordable as me, and you're probably going to go out of business.
Or just as affordable as me.
Yeah, it's gonna make us, at total parity or whatever.
Right.
You're welcome. It's like it's a final solution.
Yeah.
For the Uber people, if you will.
And from most Uber drivers I've talked to here, actually, hold on, I've never met an Uber driver that is angry at being an Uber driver. Oh, sorry.
Did you catch his subtle joke?
I did not. No. My bad.
A Jewish guy on Hanukkah just talked about the final solution.
Oh!
I said it was the final solution.
Just made a reference to the final solution.
Yeah.
It was fucking epic.
The Uber question. I'm sorry. Someone else, please talk.
Yeah, no. I've never met an Uber driver that is unhappy about being an Uber driver, because what you can do is go do something else. Every single one of them knows that.
Yeah.
I know that. I honestly don't like being an Uber driver because I'd rather stick to a regular schedule. Yeah.
Where you have an office or
or just a regular schedule where I have to show up. That's better for me, my personality, So I hope to be a nurse in the next 3 years, but I'm still working Uber and Lyft because it's better than a lot of other choices, and it's an option that I have. I'm not going to tell them to give me a schedule, for example, or to pay me more to make it worth my while.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. And that's like you said, it gives you a lot of flexibility. You can do it when you want to do it, not do it when you don't want to do it, which is where the economy is going. They can do all this protectionist crap all they want. The economy is going to the gig economy.
Yep.
You want to work? Okay, great. Here's money for that specific thing. You don't want to work? Okay, great. You don't have to work. You don't get any money.
Yeah.
And that's where the economy is going, and it's much more efficient that way. I've been paid that way my entire life. I've always been 10. Last time I had a salary job, I was that was illegal work under the table. I was 14. I was illegal working under the table. And that was all under the table and tip out. So have I ever been a pay?
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there isn't.
What was that?
Was that? He said there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I certainly wouldn't tell people to work illegally because that's illegal. But I did it, and I was happy. But yeah, so
it's horrible.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where the economy's going, and they can keep pushing this stuff, but that's what people want. Millennials and whoever else want to complain about, underemployment or whatever, you guys are making this new economy, and it's a much more efficient one. And, if you aren't saving up because you're not going to have a 401k, that's something you need to really think about instead of buying all those damn avocados. Which is what you no doubt are spending your money on.
Yeah, they're killing the housing. They're killing the housing market.
Fucking delicious.
They are.
Yeah, no, I ate an avocado yesterday. So.
They're killing the housing market and Kmart with the fact that they like avocado toast.
They just won't stop eating the damn avocados.
They just eat so many avocados.
Buy a house.
Please.
Why do you need this many avocados every day?
You don't need this many avocados every day, people.
I mean, omega-3s are great, but you need a house.
I know it's the good kind of fat, but come on.
Yeah.
This is a Jewish conspiracy to get people to get bank loans.
Avocados are we're big
for avocados.
Well, no, you're against avocados.
Yeah, well, this episode is brought to you by Quicken Loans. And the anti-avocado league of Florida.
And oddly enough, Dollar Shave Club.
And Dollar Shave Club. Go out there, shave your freaking hipster beard. Not you, Muhammad, because it's religious. Your hipster beard. And then go and buy a house, and enough with the damn avocados, people.
No more avocados, people.
No more avocados.
I resent that because I'm a Catholic Christian, and I have a big beard.
But is it for religious reasons?
Yeah, I'm married to a Muslim.
Oh, well, there you go.
Are?
So that's fine. I'm talking about the hipster beards, the ironic beards. No more ironic beards. Enough with that. Go get a dollar shave and get your shaving done every day for $1, I think is how that works out.
Yeah.
And then go buy a house.
Stop looking like a hippie. It's the hippie thing.
Stop looking like a damn hippie and get some bad fats, too. Eat some corn.
Just so everybody knows, we aren't actually sponsored by Dollar Shave Club.
But if you buy Dollar Shave Club, tell them that we did.
Right. Just say that you learned about it from
referred you to them.
Muddied Waters of Freedom.
Maybe they will sponsor us.
My dad actually race hates me because I grow a long French beard. He calls me a jihadist.
Well, there you go.
As they say in Paristan, Allahu Akbar.
That must have made Thanksgiving very awkward.
It wasn't that awkward. I made the gravy.
Oh. Okay.
Well, who doesn't like gravy? Eat some gravy, too. These kids, listen, I want to go back to bashing kids. Okay. Well, I already said all that.
Yeah.
But who doesn't like gravy? And go buy a house. Get a house. You're destroying the housing market and eating produce.
Stop that.
Dude.
Stop doing both of those things, please.
And shave.
Shave, please.
Even English people like shitty gravy.
That's true.
Everyone likes gravy.
Everybody. Actually, I think that's like 90% of English food.
Is gravy based, yeah.
No, it's shitty gravy. They suck at gravy.
Right.
But they're trying.
Which is all that matters in today's society.
Really,
It does matter.
It does. It matters.
Gravy lives matter.
It's gravy. It's a participation gravy. So, guys,
right. I was gonna say, we're about to get cut off. So
before Facebook cuts us off.
So, first of all, Jacob, thank you for calling in.
Yeah, Jacob, thanks for calling in.
This was fun.
Yeah.
And as a fellow Catholic, in nome Patre et Filii et Spiritus Sanctus, Amen.
It was my pleasure. Wait, I can't. Shit, I'm a really bad Catholic.
That's okay.
I'll pick up the slack for you.
And also with you is what you say. I think.
All right. Is he there?
I'll pause.
What's that?
What's that?
What's that?
On pause. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. I don't actually speak French. I'm the worst French person ever.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Ramadan.
Happy Ramadan.
No, Ramadan was like 2 months ago.
No. Happy Ramadan.
No, it wasn't.
I know when Ramadan is. Happy Ramadan. Nika.
Feliz. How do you say that?
Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
No. The other one.
Hanukkah.
The African American one.
Oh, happy Kwanzaa.
Feliz Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
Feliz Kwanzaa.
Well, Jacob, thank you so. Yeah.
Jacob, thank you.
Happy Agnostic Day.
Yes.
Thank you so much for calling in. Definitely appreciate it. Glad you were a part of our 2-year episode extravaganza.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Merry Festivus.
Merry Festivus. Thank you so much. We got to cut you off because we've got to go.
We do have to go. So, I am excited.
Yes.
Tomorrow. Let's talk about tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
I have my possibly biggest episode yet. It is my biggest episode yet. It is. I'm already saying it is. I'm interviewing the philosopher, PHO.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And she's going to share it, and we're going to blow the roof off.
That's right.
Awesome.
The philosopher's Maganza. And we're doing that. So that's on Wednesday. And then on Thursday?
On Thursday, hey, what are you doing Thursday?
Thursday? Why am I needed on Thursday?
Yeah.
Yes.
For what?
For the writer's block.
The writer's block.
Oh, I can do it.
Okay. I've got Mohammed Shaker coming on.
Mohammed M. Shaker.
To continue the 2-year celebration.
The 2-year celebration week.
Yes. Let me ask, where are you going to be?
We're going to do it here.
Oh, you need me on the writer's block. Oh, I thought it was taking over. I was like, I don't know how to do your show.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, Mohammed is the host of the writer's block. So from now on. But so we're having Mohammed Shaker on Matt's show, the writer's block. A very Mohammed continuation of Hanukkah there that we're doing. And then I already said I'm doing the philosopher. I'm super pumped about that. Tune in the following Tuesday. I know how days work. And that's going to be the Muddied Waters of Freedom, where we're going to talk about all the fun stuff that's happened since the last time that we talked about all the fun stuff that's happened.
Right.
And that's going to be real.
So, Mohammed, thank you for coming on the last 2 years. Like, it's been 2 years. We've been doing this 2 years, guys.
Yeah, man, you're welcome.
You're never allowed back on the Muddied Waters.
Exactly. No more. We'll see you in 2 more years. And we'll see you there. And yes, this show is ending now.
Yeah.
All right.
And there's the thing I'm going to say, which is where we're going.
We don't need roads.
Take my hands, it'll be okay. Close your eyes and let them fade away. We can get away from this place. You and me, we got that.
Good Lord, how dumb was I? Got more to learn and I know it all, can never know it all. I keep on learning that to live encouragement, it takes encouragement. Got a plan, a seed of confidence, and then you nourish it. No matter what it takes, let it take all it needs. I will never hit the brakes, cause I got you with me. I'm just living. When it comes to limitations, I don't listen. All mash like Griffin. Yeah.
Take my hands, it'll be okay. Close your eyes and let them fade away. We can get away from this place. You and me, we got that runaway faith. Take my hands, it'll be okay. Close your eyes and let them fade away. We can get away from this place. You and me, we got that runaway faith.
Keep on my renegade. All we got is time together, but I ain't got time to play. Let haters come my way, say what they gonna say. Treat them like my fears and keep on staring them back in the face. Keep living like there's no other day after today. Then day after tomorrow, 2 steps closer to being great. Cause that's my fate. If not, that's fine. Only way to lose is if we never even try. Preach.